opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect those of the Barber's Chat Network, our great partners at H&B Media, or any of our media peers. We're just five idiots who love sports and love to talk shit. If you're offended easily, then this show isn't for you. And for those of you who aren't offended easily, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Remember, it's only entertainment.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice Trey, go for Trey, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on display, haters old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold. My agent just said we made 100 flat. Make it back and make it stack just like I'm Steven Jack. Put my rings up in the camera like I needed that. Up in the air and at the rim is where I meet them at.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice Trey, go for Trey, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on display, haters old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You, man. It is your boy Scott. It is Friday, May 16th, 2025. We have got an amazing show for y'all today. A long show. Got a lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of stuff going on in the sports world. A lot of NBA talk, a lot of NFL talk, even a lot of baseball talk as well, man. And we also have a lot of Bear stuff to get into in the local hour, man. So we're gonna have that coming to y'all, man. But first, of course, y'all know to follow me on all social media platforms and at Barber Chair Scott. You can follow the Barber's Chair at Barber's Chair Co. on all social media platforms, and of course, you can follow our partners H&B Media at H&B Media TV on Twitter and at H&B Media on Instagram, man. And while you're at it, subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/Barber's Chair Network. If you are listening to this on any of our podcast audio, you can click on the link right there in the description box. It'll take you right to all different tiers. We got the Summer Sessions tier. We got the 79th and Hallis tier. We got the I'm Not Gonna Hold You tier. All three of those tiers are $5 each. Or you can get the $10 holiday is the Barber's Chair All Access tier, which has everything, man. So if you take your phone up to the screen, scan the QR code. If you're watching us on YouTube, it'll also take you there. And if you subscribe to the I'm Not Gonna Hold You tier or the full $10 tier, you get 25% off your first order on the Barber's Chair Network shop. That is the bcnetshop.com. Got a whole bunch of different stuff up there while you're at there, man. So get all of your gear. So yeah, man, we got a big show to get into today, man. Let's bring in our co-host Dante and Bang. Courtney will be joining us in hour 2. Mariano will be joining us in hour 2 for his monthly visit to the program. How y'all brothers feeling, man? Dante, I know you're not at the game today. First time we have you not in the game. So what's going on?
Man, I'm feeling good. You know, Ronald Acuna is back. You know, he's up in Gwinnett, slapping the ball around. I think he hit a home run today. But everything's been good, bro. I've been enjoying myself at the ballpark. We just establishing Barber's Chair at the ballpark. This is our first season fully being credentialed, and this is our first city, and so we gotta let them know who we are so we can get more cities. So it's been fun, bro. But I mean, it's always better to do it at the crib. I know my audio be sounding crazy. I gotta whisper in that bitch. I can't curse, even though we trying to be more professional. But it's good to be back.
Yeah, you can tell Dante be having his 60 Minutes voice on when he be doing the race. We talk about the strength of the Braves. We got you can follow Dante at October's on Tail on all social media platforms. We got Bang here. Follow him at JR Bang. Bang, how you feeling on this Friday?
Tough times never last. Tough people last. That's all I got. It's been a week.
Every time, even I start posting it. I had to post that day on the ground today. It's been an annoying ass day. So that and the other video you got with dude getting hit with a fucking garbage
Boy,
can.
that's how my email's been today, boy. Talk about every time I look up, I'm getting hit with something. But we hit up.
Yeah, man, it's very hot in the city of Chicago. As you see, I got the same hat on as a nigga that killed Rookie in Boys in the Hood right now. But want to give a quick shout out to our boy Tosin and the rest of the crew from the Shirtless Plantain shows. They're the news members to the squad, official members to the squad at the Barber's Chair Network, man. The new launch of our new soccer/footy division, the Barber's Chair FC. So they're going to be holding it down for us on all that. So look out for the Shirtless Plantain show. And they also have the Shirtless Plantain show, Arsenal edition. Both of those shows will be joining the network this weekend. So look out for that after the Arsenal Newcastle game on Sunday. So a lot of good stuff coming, man. So shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out Orlando, Derek, Daniel, Barry in the chat. Everybody watching, we appreciate y'all. Let's get into some news before we get into the Bears real quick, man. Some breaking news came into the chat. Even though Mikey is not here on the show, he's still our low-key executive producer as he's been sending us all the moves. We've got the news right here that Brock Purdy has agreed to a new deal with the San Francisco 49ers. It is a 5-year, $265 million contract extension. His agent, Kyle Strongen, has told friend of the program, Tom Pelissero, says Purdy gets $181 million in total guarantees, including $165 million in the first three new years of a deal that runs to 2030. Man, big shout out to Brock Purdy. It took a long time for him to get his deal, but he got his deal. Just my quick thoughts on that. The Niners had no choice. I have been on record saying I'm not the biggest fan of this dude. I think he is what we call a glorified game manager. But guess what? Glorified game managers should get paid as well. So they had no other options to go. Pay the man his money. I think he's earned it. He's been to the Super Bowl. They lost. Really wasn't 100% because of his fault. I feel like if he'd had a stronger arm, maybe they'd have connected on that shot, but that's neither here nor there. Game still went to overtime. Very, very well deserved. Dante Bang, any thoughts on this before we move on to talk about all Chicago Bears for the next 45 minutes?
I think Purdy, he earned his money. Like, as a guy who coming from, Mr. Irrelevant, last pick in the draft, and doing everything he's done, he's earned this contract. I also think it's a benefit to have Kyle Shanahan as your offensive coordinator. We've talked about that since, he burst onto the scene. Like, Kyle does this shit. And so, I think it's a very good matchup, very good marriage. And I see why they could do it. And then when you give somebody that much money in the first 3 years, it's pretty much a prove. I don't want to say a prove it deal, but if it turns out that he starts to fall off, it's like, all right, well, the shit is off the books. Now we can move in a different direction. So it's the win-win for both sides.
Bang, any thoughts?
Man, God bless. This got to be one of the biggest raises in NFL history, considering that he was Mr. Irrelevant. I don't know what his contract was before that, but you got to look at somebody like him or an undrafted free agent that actually did well. But sometimes they get paid a little bit even more earlier, considering how their career might go. So, yeah, for him to go from Mr. Irrelevant to one of the highest paid people in the NFL, hey, you got to love it. So, God bless.
Much respect to Brock Purdy. Let's move on to talk about what you guys want us to talk about on the show, and that is Chicago Bears football. So we're going to start off with the local hour, man, right here on I'm Not Gonna Hold You.
It is the local hour. Local hour.
There we go. Local hour sponsored by the Sock Man on 87th. Let's get into our guy, Caleb Williams, man. So I feel like yesterday was a very smooth morning until some reports came out. So there was a big old ESPN alert on my phone from a book that's coming out from Seth Wickersham. I think that's how you pronounce my man's name. Wickersham. He is ESPN senior writer. He is pretty much spot on everything that he has talked about in his career. And he has a book about really the ups and downs of being a quarterback throughout the history of the NFL. It talks about the John Elway situation when he didn't want to play, where he was going to get drafted. And you also have, Archie Manning, him helping Eli get to go. Something was happening with Arch Manning. And it has a chapter about Bears starting quarterback Caleb Williams not wanting to go to Chicago. In fact, we have some of the quotes up here. Shout out our super producer Nikhil in the building. Let's see, we got a quote right here. Yeah, Dante is very happy that you are back. Chicago is the place that quarterbacks go to die. Carl Williams, Caleb's father, told Seth Wickersham, author of American Kings, biography of the quarterback in the months before the 2024 draft. Now the next thing it says, Carl Williams went to great lengths to try to circumvent the NFL draft. Wickersham writes, wanting to give his son an opportunity to choose his future employer. The Bears had not drafted a star quarterback since the 1980s, and their recent draft selections, Mitchell Trubisky and Justin Fields, didn't pan out. Carl Williams is worried that with the franchise's history, stadium uncertainty, and offensive performances under then head coach Matt Eberflus, Caleb Williams wouldn't have the organizational support to succeed. I don't want my son playing for the Bears, Williams told several agents in 2024. Let's see. Well, there we go. He said, I need to go to the Vikings. This is what Caleb told his father. Let's do it, his father replied. But both Caleb and Carl knew that a trade to division rival was extremely unlikely. Bears GM Ryan Poles stood firm, telling Williams, we're drafting you no matter what. That left one option, to publicly attack the Bears in the city of Chicago, hoping it would make the situation untenable, similar to what Jack and John Elway did with the Baltimore Colts in 1983. He's worried about me taking bullets, Carl Williams told Wickersham of his son. I don't care. I just don't agree with this shit, you know. I'm more interested in making sure that he can do whatever he wants to do. But Caleb was concerned that if they did try and make it Bears, but Caleb was concerned that they did try and the Bears refused to trade him, it would make a tough situation worse. In the end, Caleb Williams told Wickersham, I wasn't ready to make the city. Let's see, what's the next part? So I wasn't ready to nuke the city. That's what it was. I wasn't ready to nuke the city. Enter a pre-draft visit to the Bears facility. Williams believed he could just be a part of the process to turn the franchise around. I can do it for this team, Caleb told his dad. I'm going to go to the Bears. The Bears declined to comment. The book also sheds light on Williams' tumultuous rookie season in which both Eberflus and Waldron were fired, and the Bears lost 10 straight games. At times, Williams said he would watch film alone with no instruction or guidance from coaches. No one tells me what to watch. Caleb Williams told his dad, I just turned it on, which is nuts, by the way. Commissioner Roger Goodell conducted. Oh, that's another. That's another thing. But anyway, yeah. So that's what we got from Steph Wickersham in his book about Caleb Williams. My initial thoughts on this. First of all, I got to give props to Bears Twitter for once because I thought there was going to be a bad backlash. And really the backlash was just from idiot fans who are not Bears fans, who just like to troll Bears fans. To me, yes, it's a big deal because, you know, it's May. There's really nothing else to talk about with post-draft. Getting ready into 2 weeks of OTAs, and then we got mandatory minicamp first week of June, and then it's absolutely silent for the next 7 weeks before the actual training camp starts. I look at it like this. I don't blame Carl Williams. I think that the lengths he was trying to go through was goofy. Thinking that type of stuff was going to work. But his overall sentiment of not wanting his son being set up for failure, who could blame him for that? As Bears fans, as Bears media, we all said this. Like, we said this, 8-9 months before Caleb Williams even felt like a reality. I remember after the 2023 season, I said October 2023. From what I'm hearing, this man is not getting fired next year. And I did not get a good response from Bears fans out there, but it was true. And if we as Bears fans thought this, what were other players and family going to feel about this? Well, and if you look at it, every concern that they had last year happened. This man had 3 offensive coordinators last year. 3. This man had 2 different head coaches last year. He had a part where he was actually looking at film by himself. And I know that idiot Emmanuel Acho said that somebody used to show you how to look at film. Yes, nigga. The people who actually need to look at film are rookie quarterbacks who have never experienced being in the NFL. Yes, they need to learn what to look for when watching film. I don't even know why we even having that discussion to begin with. That was asinine. And you just see all the responses since the firing of Matt Eberflus that a lot of players said that we knew this wasn't going to work in May. In May, my nigga, during OTAs. So, of course, everything he said was going to happen, happened. And then you see other players going around doing interviews. I saw Kyler Gordon did an interview with Barstool Chicago, and they asked him, was it as bad as it looked? He just laughed. Like, yes, it was. So to me, this is just a reflection on what went on last season. And I think all Bears fans said, you know what? We understand where you're coming from, and we're on your side with this. Now, you have other idiot fans say, how do Bears fans feel about Caleb not wanting to be there? The only quote that makes sense that I care about in that whole piece now is that I think I can make it work with the Bears. Who cares? He's here now. Everything he wants, he has. He has the head coach that everybody's wanted for the last 2 seasons, the offensive-minded coach that us as Bears fans have been asking for the longest time. He got that. You got a whole rebuild offensive line. You got another year with DJ Moore. You got year 2 Roma Dunze, and you drafted a really good offensive wide receiving talent in Luther Burden III. You got 2 tight ends now. You got Cole Kmet and you got Colston Loveland. And don't forget about you got DeAndre Swift in the backfield. He's got all the pieces you need to see. And not just that, you got coaches. You got good running back coaches. You got good wide receiver coaches. Everything that you need is here. I think this will matter more if Ryan Poles didn't do his job this offseason. But he did. And I also like that Ryan Poles told them, well, nigga, too bad for that. We're going to draft you anyway. We can still sit up and say whose decision it was to keep Flus. I'm still in the belief that it was George McCaskey saying, I'm not finding another coach, because I don't even believe Ryan Poles had anything to do with that man getting hired in the first place. But that's old stuff to begin with. I think this is all old news. It's just stuff we're talking about right now. There's really not nothing else to talk about. But I will say this. I'm very interested to see what he's going to say next Wednesday when he meets the media. Now, he hasn't 100% been confirmed. I've just been told that just players and Ben Johnson will meet with the media. So Caleb hasn't been confirmed by himself, but I'm pretty sure he will be talking on Wednesday. But Bears fans on his side now. But let's be very clear about one thing. If he does not have a good season, or if he starts out rough, they're going to get on his ass. Like, this part right here doesn't help that thing. But overall, I think it's a moot point right now. But it's just really just telling Bears fans what we all knew to begin with. Bang, I'm going to go to you first. What was your first thoughts when the article came out, and what do you feel about it?
And like, that was literally it. It was like, all right, okay. I wrote a couple of things down, and I normally don't do this. I normally keep everything up here, but I did this specifically because of this segment, because it was a couple of things that I just want to get off. So first of all, I told y'all niggas, all right? We told y'all niggas. I told y'all niggas. I told y'all them first couple of games, it don't look like Caleb being coach. It looked like Shane Waldron and them just along for the ride. And then that video came out of Shane Waldron trying to coach him up and Caleb looking like, what the fuck? I said and was saying since the beginning of training camp that they was treating Caleb like he was a 5-year vet and he already knew it all. So that's one thing that I want to make sure that I just get off. He didn't trust the staff. They didn't trust the staff since day one, but a lot of people didn't realize it until the season started. This falls all on Ryan Poles. He failed miserably. He delayed the progress of a number 1 pick overall, a generational talent, all of that stuff. But this is number 1 on him. The Vikings game, and I think we talked about it on here, that Vikings game makes even more sense. Because remember after the Vikings game when the Bears lost and Caleb and Kevin O'Connell embraced for a while. They were talking. And we talked about that on the show, like, yo, what kind of shit? Because it even got to the point to remember when Kevin O'Connell, towards the end of the season, when it was rumors that he might, like, they was going through issues with resigning his contract and all of that stuff. And remember, it was a report that came out. I forgot who it was, but they said that it was a coach that said, how come I can't go to the Bears? Like, why not me? I officially believe that was Kevin O'Connell, and it was him saying, yo, if they don't sign me, I'm going over there in division with the quarterback that I wanted. Which, if I'm JJ McCarthy, I'm looking at this like, damn, you really didn't want me, huh? You just ended up with me. And that's why y'all having these conversations with Aaron Rodgers or was kicking that around and all of that. But I think, and maybe I'm overthinking this. I don't think this is a hot take. I'm not trying to hot take this. Maybe I'm overthinking this. Oh, well, first, Kerry Joseph was the quarterback's coach. That motherfucker shouldn't get a job a day in his life because that man and Caleb Williams should have been best friends. If Caleb Williams is saying that if he's watching tape alone, then somebody need to look at Kerry and be like, yo, what the fuck was you doing? Where were you at? But the Caleb Williams thing really, this right here showed how inept the Bears organization has been. And there's not a Bears fan that is smart, and there's not a Bears fan that is smart that's going to tell you that, oh, yeah, so what? No, we been knew this shit. We been knew it. We knew Caleb Williams' daddy was, but even before we heard all of this, we been knew that could even just be the case. We all talked about, could Caleb Williams do the Eli Manning? Everybody did. So we know they were trying to do this. But I believe this sets up either the biggest redemption story in NFL history or the biggest disappointment, the biggest fail in NFL history. And I'm not hot taking this. Here's why I believe this. The Bears is a charter franchise. Also, Bears is the only team that has not had a 4,000-yard rusher. Not only do we know that, when the Pope was named, it was comedy because they said that we got a Pope before we had a 4,000-yard rush. Passer, excuse me. This team has been inept in many ways, including their organization as a whole. But it's other organizations that's been like this. Look at the New England Patriots. When New England, before they got Tom Brady, before they got Drew Brees, after 85, just like the Bears, they was in worse shit than us. They were the worst franchise in NFL history. With all of the shit that's going on, Caleb is now looked at poorly. His daddy didn't help. Last season didn't help. The Bears is always going to be looked at poorly. So everybody's expecting this to fail. If Caleb Williams and the Bears not only prosper short term, meaning this coming season, but if he turns out the quarterback that they clearly thought he was going to be, since Ryan Poles told that man, we ain't looking at nobody else, we picking your ass. We ain't talk to Jaden. We ain't talk to Drake May. We ain't talk to none of these niggas. We taking your ass. They set themselves up for a fail or pass moment that is going to be unprecedented because if Jaden Daniels continues the career that he had last year, and if Drake May beats what we think he could be, and Caleb don't, the Bears are going to be looked at so poorly that it's going to be really hard for somebody to come through. We can talk shit about the Cleveland Browns all we want to. This is worse than that shit. This is worse than any other situation because they end up getting them, and everything the family said they didn't want happened. So this is the biggest pass or fail moment in my history of watching the NFL. And if it don't happen, man, we are in deep shit.
Yeah, I don't think that's a hot take at all. I think that's 100% spot on. Like, I think that's 100%. Like, you already had very high suspicions about him coming to begin with. If you see all the things that Caleb's daddy was gonna do just for him to be right, but I also don't think it takes Caleb off the hook either. I think it will be looked at as he wasn't that good to begin with because, yeah, you did go off to a bad start, but they did give you everything you wanted in year two, and you still aren't better than the guy or the guys who were drafted pick a 1 and 2 picks after you. So I do think both will be looked at very, very poorly if this goes left. Dante, what's your thoughts on the article, what you felt when it came out, and how you feel now? That's a fine. You are muted, sir.
Whoa, that's a fine.
Hit the music.
Yeah, I really didn't want people to hear me cussing at this fucking game, so that's my fault. But no, I think it's much ado about nothing. I think it's a situation where Caleb's pop said everything that we felt, and not only did we feel, we lived it. We've seen it. So the idea that him saying quarterbacks go there to die, yeah, we got a laundry list. Like I said, the 85 Super Bowls is the only thing separating us from being the Cleveland Browns. Let's just keep it a bean. Like that's who we are. That's where we are with this shit right now. So for a guy with as much talent and as much potential as Caleb had, I could see, a city and a team and a front office that has a history of not developing quarterbacks. Why would I want to go there? And then you hear about, being left out to dry. And I don't care what, we saw Emmanuel Acho and what he said about, yeah, that's the league. You're supposed to just go in there and watch film. Like, we know that's ridiculous for a rookie quarterback. Like, that's just insane. I don't care how much of a savant you are, anything that they said Caleb was before he got to the league. You just don't do that. You don't put him in that position. And so when they did that, I mean, it was just another example of why everything that was said made sense. So but at the end of the day, he's here. And not only is he here, they've replaced everybody that was, in our opinion, and clearly in his opinion, from what he said, a part of the problem. So you got your coach now. You got more weapons. You got a coaching staff full of people that seemingly love to coach offense. You saw Antoine Randall running through the clip that we saw from minicamp. And so it's like, nah, bro, okay. It happened. It's again nothing that was. I didn't read anything new. Like a lot of people thought it wasn't going. I mean, we knew it wasn't going to work, but I appreciate his pops. Let's do our due diligence here. Let's make sure we get in the best situation for us. And a lot of times people get criticized for that, but it makes sense the way this league chews up and just spits out people. And it's like, all right, well, you didn't succeed because it's your fault. And it's like, nah, you didn't have the structure around you. So for him, knowing the type of talent his son has and what he's done to build Caleb up, you got to remember this is something that if you read all the articles about Caleb and his pops, this is something since middle school. This is not something where he was just in college and like, oh, okay, my son might be the number one pick. No. This is really on some LeVar Ball shit where they planned this since he was 12. Like, no, you're going to be the number one pick in the draft. And so nothing about this is shocking to me. And I think at the end of the day, it should serve as a wake-up call for the Bears franchise. It's like, nah, bro, get this shit right because we've never gotten it right. And I know we said over a few episodes that, to their credit, not I won't say their credit, but to shoot them a little bell, they've never been in a position to draft a number one overall quarterback. But however, now that you are in that position, it's like, all right, bro, we've seen the missteps. You got to get it right. So, I mean, the article didn't affect me at all. And, I'm not surprised. And like I said, now you got your guys. Let's see what you can do. So I'm cool with it. It's not no big issue for me.
Definitely. Let's move on. We've got some Bears Stadium news to get into, man. Came out this morning from Chicago Tribune. I got this tweet up from Courtney Cronin. Said just over a month after the Chicago Bears said they were keeping options open on both the lakefront south of the current Soldier Field and in Arlington Heights for the site of the new stadium. The team announced Friday that its focus has shifted away from the city and to the 326-acre property that the Bears own on the site of the former Arlington International Racecourse. Over the last few months, we have made significant progress with the leaders in Arlington Heights and look forward to continuing to do work with state and local leaders on making transformative economic development project for the region a reality. A statement from the team reads, the Chicago Tribune's first report, the Bears focus solely on Arlington Heights. I didn't spend too much time on this. I don't think it's that big of an update, but to me, it just feels like the Bears finally realized, hey, getting a stadium downtown is unrealistic. Like everybody with an actual working brain thought. I still think that that they're gonna still try to get some money from the state. I don't know if that's gonna work or not, but either way, I still think that there will be shovels in the ground by the end of the year, like Kevin Warren promised us back in January in the year-to-year press conference. And I do think this thing probably be open in 2030. I'm guessing. The Super Bowls are announced for the next 3 years. 2029 hasn't been announced, but I'm pretty sure they're going to give it to Nashville with their new stadium coming. And it would not shock me if Super Bowl is in Chicago in 2030. So that's really all I got. Let's get this going. Let's get this going so we can get this new stadium rolling. Do y'all have any thoughts on this before we move on or no?
Oh yeah, I'm with you, bro. I'm like, just get it over with. Like, I know, we keep romanticizing staying on the lakefront and the history of playing in the city, but I think it's kind of like with the Braves down here in Atlanta. If I've experienced a team moving outside of the city and they pack their stadium out every fucking game. So I mean, the idea that it's gonna change anything as far as attendance with the Bears, that's just not true. The crowd might change because the people, it may just be more people from up in Arlington, but get it over with. Own that entire property. You get more revenue. You can put that revenue into the team. Now, if it becomes a Ricketts situation where they build this mini city and now they're just pocketing the money, then we're gonna have a problem. But that's a risk you take with shit like this. So I think right now it's really just more so, hey, just get it over with. Like, let's make a decision. Let's go, and we get it. We move from there.
Bang, any thoughts?
It's Chicagoland, ladies and gentlemen. Not Chicago, it's Chicagoland. So Arlington is part of it. No, man, look, I'm excited to have a first-class stadium. I am also excited to be able to be indoors and enjoy a Bears game. I told y'all the story about my wife going to Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and I was like, yeah, you're never coming to Soldier Field. But she gonna come to this stadium, wherever it's gonna be called, because it's gonna be nice out there. I did read somewhere that they said that they're not going to ask for state money. I want to say that I had read that in the Tribune report. So yeah, all of this, either way it go, all
Yeah,
of this is gonna be
maybe I
interesting.
read it wrong because I thought it said they were still asking for money.
It might be. I don't have it in front of me. I was actually trying to pull it up. But either way it go, I'm excited to get this out the way. If it's 2020, 2029, 2028, before this open, this is gonna be dope. I can't wait to see the renderings of what this joint will actually look like.
Definitely, man. But let's
Hold on, G, hold on,
Go ahead.
real quick before we move on, Scott. I gotta ask you this because I mean, I
Yeah.
know. Well, I should say, Scott, I know you don't give a fuck. There's some reports that the White Sox might join them out in Arlington. How y'all feel about that?
Yeah, I heard that, but like you just said, I don't give a shit. They can be playing on the fucking moon. They still not gonna win 50 games and shit. Like, it don't matter who them niggas play at, man. But I did hear that report though. I did hear that report. And to me, that would be stupid for them because you forcing fans to come out their way to watch bad baseball.
No,
Like,
I think it would be dumb because, like, kind of like what happened in Atlanta. The reason the Braves really moved outside of them asking for an entire black neighborhood, which is insane, but the Falcons got the money already. So it's like if the Bears have their own stadium and secure their own rights, and they do all of that in Arlington in the Chicagoland area, then that does free up money in the city. So why wouldn't you try to get your ballpark downtown? So I mean that's
Yeah,
my
it'd be
opinion.
it'd be done for the White Sox, but if that happened with the Bears, you got a tenant. Go ahead and pay that rent. Go ahead and pay that rent, Playboy. Yeah,
that's a good
but
point.
for the White Sox, it'd be dumb as hell. But pay that rent if you want to.
But that goes back to why would Jerry do that? Because he don't want to pay rent. Like I think he gets off at paying that he owns that building. So I don't know. We spent 2 minutes too long on that team. Let's move on. Let's talk about the 2025 Chicago Bears, man. The schedule release has been all of the craze this week in the NFL. If you watched 79th and Hallis this week, me and Bane broke it down. For those who didn't watch it, we're gonna break it down on here for y'all, man. First of all, I gotta say, Chicago Bears social media team, y'all gotta do better. That video was fucking terrible, and it wasn't just you. I think the entire NFL's release schedule videos were not the part of the shit. Were not the part. The only good ones I saw, I love the Texans. My intermillennial really loved the wise up, like redo. Loved it. Had one of the niggas from the video in there. It was awesome. And I also love the Bills when they said we should just have AI do the release, and it was actual Allen Iverson. That was pretty cool. The Bears was terrible. But anyway, I got the schedule in front of me, man. Gonna go over it. Just say with the game. Now I might get these weeks mixed up because I am terrible with my math. But week 1, you got Monday Night Football at the crib. The Bears be facing the Minnesota Vikings. Week 2, the Bears will be on the road to play Detroit Lions. You got Ben Johnson will be returning to Detroit for the first time. Week 3, they will be at the crib facing the Dallas Cowboys. That is a 3:25 start. And then you got on the road for week 4, they will be going to the Las Vegas to play the Raiders. I cannot wait for that weekend for reasons that have nothing to do with this football game. Week 5 is a bye. Very early bye. I don't like it, but a very, very early bye. Week 6, rematch of the Hail Mary last year. Monday Night Football in Washington, D.C. against the Commanders. Week 7, back at the crib, facing the New Orleans Saints. Then you got back-to-back road games. Week 8 against Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore. Week 9, facing Joe Burrow, and the Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati. And then you got week 10, you've got the New York Giants at home. And week 11, you're going to Minnesota, finish that series up. Week 12, you come home and face the Pittsburgh Steelers. This might be a game that gets flexed if this team is good, because this might be Aaron Rodgers returning to Aaron Rodgers. And you know the NFL loves the Aaron Rodgers, he owns the Bears narrative. Week 13, Black Friday, the Bears be heading to Philadelphia to take on the defending Super Bowl champions. Week 14, they will be heading to Lambeau for the first time to face the Green Bay Packers. Week 15, they've got the Cleveland Browns at home. Week 16 will be probably a night game on that Saturday, which will be the greatest day in American football history, with 3 college football playoff games and 2 NFL games. You got the Commanders and the Eagles in the early game for that. Week 17, you got Sunday Night Football. The Bears playing the San Francisco 49ers, who have the weakest schedule in the NFL right now. And week 18, closing up the season at home against the Detroit Lions. That one could probably decide something. 3 of the last 4 games are at home. The Bears will be on primetime / standalone 5 times this year. My initial thoughts on this, man, I think that the NFL is going all in on the Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams thing. Obviously, by all of the standalone national TV games that these are getting, I think it's a very tough schedule. Now, granted, when I say it's a tough schedule, we're just going off that on paper, because the NFL, year-to-year league, we don't know what teams won't live up to expectations. We don't know what players are going to get hurt. We don't know how it's going to look. But on paper, it doesn't. It's very hard. We're going to find out about this team really right away. These first 4 games, even with the Cowboys and the Raiders not being quote unquote good teams, they're formidable team. They're not huff or nothing like that. So I think you're going to find out how good this team is going to be right away. Week 5 bye scares me, but also last time the Bears won the division, they had a week 5 bye, and that was 2018. So 5 standalone games with a potential to get flexed in. Pretty good to me. I'm very surprised that they didn't have the Ben Johnson game on national TV, but I don't think you can get any better than week 1. Week 1, you got to send a message. Week 1, you have to send a message. You got JJ McCarthy, future JJ McCarthy auto owner, as Bang always says.
A future head coach of Nazareth is alma mater, Nazareth High School, Nazareth Academy in LaGrange Park, Illinois. You know what I'm saying? Future head coach.
He was. I don't know if y'all saw the video yesterday. Him being in Game 5 of the Wolves and the Warriors, and Steph Curry walked up, dapped up Justin Jefferson, and didn't say nothing to JJ McCarthy. I don't think he knew who the hell he was. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, and we do not need peak Bears to happen. You know what peak Bears is? When rookie quarterback comes and makes a name on us and on a primetime game. Don't do that. Put that nigga through a table week. We'll let him know. Welcome to the NFL, nigga. That's what I need to see there. I need that Washington game in ways that I can't explain. I really, really need that Washington game. I really need that win. Coming off a bye just like last year. But that Packer game. When was the last time we had a Packer home game in primetime? I can't even remember. What was the last time?
It was the
Khalil Mack.
Game. It was Khalil Mack game.
No, that was in Lambeau. I mean, at home.
Oh, at home.
Oh, at home.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, at home. Yeah.
It's been a minute.
Oh yeah,
because even Justin was on the road.
Yep, exactly. Bobby Pill in the check. Yeah, the Kaepernick game. Yeah, we made Colin Kaepernick on Monday Night Football at Candlestick Park. I remember that. Pissed me off. But anyway, my initial predictions from Monday, and like Stephen A. Smith says, the list is fluid. I got to go on 9-8 off just first glance, but we'll see how that goes. Bang, I know we talked about those stuff on 7 Night the Howlers, but what's your thoughts on the schedule?
I changed it. I changed my prediction. It's fluid, y'all, but it's fluid. I changed it to 9 games. So I'm at 9 games right now. I still believe that the Bears will be 4-0 at the bye. But I changed my Washington pick. Remember, I had made the Washington pick a loss, and then you shamed me. And I changed it to a win. Now I have it back to a loss. But I do have the Bears beating Detroit twice now. So right now I have it 9-8. But I do like that it spread it apart. I was nervous that they was gonna backload it like they did last year, but it spread it apart. So I like it. But I do believe we're gonna be 9-8, and we're going to be in. We're gonna be in the hunt by the end of the season. I don't know if we're gonna get in, but we're gonna be in the hunt.
And like actually in the hunt, not like the last nigga on the picture in the hunt. Like actually,
Yeah. No, yeah, we're gonna be actually in the hunt. We're not gonna be like 7-9.
not the
And
mathematically still in it.
chance. Yeah, we ain't gonna be that.
Dante, what's your thoughts? We ain't heard from you on it.
It's a tough schedule, but as we all know, one of the things we've done over the last years to our detriment is look at the schedule before the season and judge that motherfucker. Like some of these teams are gonna be bad, some of these teams are gonna be good, and you know the exact opposite of what we're looking at them right now. So for me, I do still think it's a tough schedule. With that being said, my ceiling right now is 10 wins. I know Orlando just mentioned it, and we're gonna talk about it in a second. But you know, if you make a move for a particular defensive end, I could see adding a couple more wins to that win total, just because I think skill position wise, I think we know we have pieces. It's about the trenches and how they settle and how they start to gel and really play together on both sides, on offense and defense. So I mean, it's one of those things where if Ozzy is really a brick wall on that left side and Caleb has a clean pocket, they're gonna put up a lot more points. And if we bring in, like I said, another defensive end, and you got Grady and you got everybody else, Dexter, you got everybody that was there last year, and they can actually put pressure on the quarterback with the cornerbacks and safeties that we have. It could be in the an 11-win team, but right now I think I really got my ceiling is 10 wins. We're gonna see how it goes. We got some tough games. We got some. I think the entire NFC North, though, and that this will play in our favor. The entire NFC North has quite a few tough games. So if we do fuck off a couple games, I think they may play. We may not be as bad off as we think, because I think our division will also have some other tough games. So I mean, I think 9-8 to get us a wild card, but I think 10 is our ceiling, and like right now, that's how I feel.
I think I love how we're all cautious. I love because, like I said, if you want to see a freezing cold takes special, go watch last year's I'm Not Gonna Hold You Bears season special. We went to the pillow.
Watch that.
We went to the pillow store. Shout out my boy Mike for the new pillows opening up in the South Loop. Make shout out to them. Y'all down there, go support. But niggas was like, the bank was like 12-5. Like, and niggas was like, man, we need to get to the playoffs. And we went 2.5 months without a win, nigga. Me and Dante were in London, United Kingdom, drinking. We had a random white nigga coming to the bar, was like, y'all Bears fans, and bought some drinks for the lads, nigga. We was having a good time.
Talking playoffs and shit.
Talking playoffs, nigga. And you know what happened? I boarded the flight to go back to the States, and we didn't win a game to the first week of 2025. So I will not be doing that this year. Not at all. But anyway, one last topic here in the local hour. We're going to bring our boy Mariano in hour 2. We're going to talk some NBA. But there is a very unhappy defensive end right now in the world, Mr. Trey Hendrickson of the Cincinnati Bengals. I respect I wouldn't even call it petty. It's not even petty because they owe this nigga money. He came to OTA. I don't even think it was OTAs. He came to rookie camp with his golf fit on. Like, yo, I'm about, like he was Dante. I'm gonna go golf after this, just so he could talk to the media while practice is going on, saying everything like, yo, they owe me money. They said they was gonna take care of me this year. Blah blah blah. Like, I did my part. If I only had 4 sacks, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. They'd have got rid of me, which is all facts. And he said he is not going to play without a new contract. So my question for my esteemed panel here, should the Bears go grab him? My answer is absolutely. Now, this is why I'm not a general manager, because I am thirsty, and I would have called the Bengals today and gave them exactly what they wanted. But our executive producer, Mikey, who was not on the cast team over the years, an executive producer, said, just wait it out. Wait it out to April when the Bengals get desperate and the price is a little lower. I was like, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. If the Bears trade, and I don't want to hear about picks. I know a lot of people on the 79 Habits page tweeting me about salary cap. Look, I'm not Ryan Poles. I'm not Kevin Warren. That's not my job to worry about the salary cap. As we see from that money laundering front that plays in Inglewood, California, the Los Angeles Rams, the salary cap is not a real thing. You can figure out a way to work it. Restructure DJ's contract. Restructure Jalen's contract. Do what you restructure Ted's contract again. Do what you got to do. But if we get Trey Hendrickson, me and Henry good, then I'm going to delusion land. Because then I will be very confident on both sides of the football. So shout out in the chat. Nah, Trey staying home. We notoriously don't trade players. Well, you better hope that Trey decides that he don't want to get fined. Because if he don't, y'all ain't gonna have no choice but to trade that nigga. And before, y'all didn't pay two people who didn't pay. Me personally, I love T. Higgins. I let that nigga walk not to trade and not to pay Trey Hendrickson. You gotta pay Jamar, but that's what I would have did. Dante, I know you've been saying ain't my money. What do you think Bears should go ahead and get Trey Hendrickson?
100%. I think it's time to go overkill. You in a year 2 of a 5-year deal with Caleb, and as we all know, this is when you spend the money. You spend the money before you got to pay your quarterback, especially if Caleb takes the jump and gets on the pace that we expect him to get to. Then it's just going to be the writing's going to be on the wall that he's going to get a bag. So no, you spend that money right now. You front load Trey's deal. A lot of the deals that they signed this offseason are backloaded. I know you want to extend Thule, but I mean, right now, for me, fixing that defensive line is everything, because I feel like you've done enough on that offensive line between the draft and free agency to where it's like, nah, let's fix both sides of the ball. Like we've said, the skill position players are there. The quarterback is there. The running back is there. The safeties, the cornerbacks, they're all there. So it's like, nah, let's fix the trenches and let's overdo it. Philadelphia, we just saw them make Patrick Mahomes look pedestrian because they had a rotation of defensive players who were able to put pressure on him throughout the game, bro. So, I mean, if I can go get him, even at this point, I know we haven't proven anything yet, but if I slightly overpay, I'm okay with that. Go get him. I think you're going to make it happen.
Bang, what you think about this?
Man, they better go get that dude. Now, I'm not waiting. I'm honestly not waiting until the price go down and stuff like that. No, get that man now. Go ahead and call him. Be like, hey, what is going to take? Let's just go ahead and get that out the way so he could be with the team throughout OTAs and he could be with the team during training camp and all of that stuff. Look, if Trey Hendrickson ends up a Bear on the opposite side of Montez Sweat, with Gavon Dexter right there, with Grady Jarrett right there, with Billings coming back, the linebacker core looks to be pretty decent with that defensive back.
Monsters back.
Yo,
We gonna start get back to knocking niggas out.
Hey, I'm just gonna tell you right now. That happens. I am going off the deep end. I'm 14-3. Was that 14-3, 15, whatever it is now? I'm going off that deep end.
I will be booking hotels in San Francisco.
Right, because essentially, here's the thing. They become the Detroit Lions. That's what they become. Defensive line, both sides. Well, on this one, except they have an end on both sides. Trey Hendrickson, Montez Sweat, interior, there's that right there. The linebacker core is okay. But anybody will tell you this. What makes a great defensive backfield? Defensive line. And it's already dope. You already got an all-pro back there. You got Tyreek Stevenson. If he don't tweak, he's good. You got Kyler Gordon back there. Your safeties are on point. My God, if the Bears got Trey Hendrickson with what we already have on defense, hey, we will cancel Christmas, ladies and gentlemen. I will for all the NFC North and who we play. Because we would also be a carbon copy of the team that just won the Super Bowl. Stop playing. Go get him.
If we get Trey Hendrickson, I'm going to come on this show and I'm going to yell like Gina Views be yelling on DJ Head show when niggas be rapping. That's going to be me. what would have happened.
Yes.
So, but that's it for the local hour, sponsored by the Sock Man on 87th. We're gonna take a quick, not even a commercial break, but it's kind of a commercial break because I want you niggas to buy some merch. We're gonna take a quick 1 minute break. On the other side, we got the homie Mariano in the building. Dante is gonna come back from his food run, and we're gonna talk some NBA basketball for the next hour. And then Courtney will be joining us as well as we're gonna talk some more NFL while we at it, man. So we'll be right back, yo, and I'm not gonna hold you.
So cool, so cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice Trey, go for Trey, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.
We are back on I'm Not Gonna Hold You. By the way, Nikhil, I don't know if you saw the score. Chelsea won, which means this Sunday's game against Newcastle is even more important. Champions League ain't confirmed yet. Man City dropped to 6. So the niggas better at least tie on Sunday. That's all we gonna do about that. But anyway, shout out to Tosin, shout out to Shoeless Plantain Show. Check out a new episode of their pod this week on the network. We got the homie Mariano in the building for his monthly appearance on the program, Detroit's finest. Mariano, how you feeling? You were on mute, brother.
I just caught that message late from you. Let's take this from the top. I'm happy to be here. You know what I'm saying? It's Friday. I'm chilling. Just took the do-rag off a little while ago and all that. Bang, what's up, man? Missed you the last time I was on. I was telling those good brothers that I was literally in tears laughing at the Aaron Rodgers story, bro. Like, literally, I sat there and I watched that shit like 13 times.
Yeah, true story.
Hey,
Because, yo, listen, dog, I was in tears laughing at that shit, man. Yeah, man, thank you for sharing that to the world and everything, man. I appreciate your contributions, brother.
Orlando said in the chat, Scott is becoming to Mandem Rich Isaac.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, man. I looked on the timeline and I saw Scott talking some old
some footy, nigga.
Some old footy. I said,
hey,
hold
man.
on, nah.
Yeah. Hey man, it's my new obsession. I love the sport. I'm mad I took this long to watch it, but we are here 100%. But yeah, man, let's get into it, man. There's a lot of stuff to talk about in the NBA, man. We got to start with what happened a couple days ago with Jason Tatum, man. Jason Tatum ruptured his Achilles in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference semifinals against the New York Knicks. Knicks are currently up 3-2 after getting lambasted. He said, I'm calling ice on that, man. All right, let's relax. Let's relax. I can't be taken out of here. I know that damn much. I was born anyway. But they after getting blown out in Game 4. This is 3-2 series. But one thing that stood out to me about this Jason Tatum thing, by the way, we hope Jason Tatum gets 100% healthy. Yeah. We all know I am not the biggest fan, but that don't mean I want to see the man hurt. He has been one of the brightest stars in the NBA. He has accomplished so much in his young career, obviously. And you want to see Jason Tatum play. He was cooking in that game. I thought we were going to have one of the classic battles that we look at years from now with him and Jalen, not Jalen, but Jalen Brown. You know what I'm saying? Not Jalen Brown, Jalen Brunson. To me, Jason's in the Jalen's in the NBA. And then he went down. But the thing that stood out to me was how quickly they had the surgery. I remember it was like 2 o'clock. I'm like, man, the Celtics ain't announced no news. We ain't got no Shams alert. And they said he had surgery already. So surgery went well, clean break. He's not gonna be back to the 2026-2027 season. Even when he gets back, we don't know what he's gonna look like. Not a good thing. He didn't tear the Achilles in his jumping leg, which hopefully that helps his ability to continue to be as fast as he is and be able to make the same moves as he has. But it's unprecedented. We haven't seen somebody his age have this kind of injury. This usually happens when somebody who's in their 30s, like a Kevin Durant, like a Damian Lillard, like a Isaiah Thomas, and things like that. But and Kobe Bryant. But one thing we have seen, even with KD is been getting nagging injuries ever since. KD hasn't played the entire season, even close to the entire season since he ruptured his Achilles. Klay Thompson, he had peaks and valleys when he came back in 2022 year. The Warriors won their last championship. Even Klay is a shell of himself and has not even been remotely close to where he was defensively. So that's going to be a drop. But the bigger question here is, especially with seeing how tonight's game goes, and we'll talk about that later in the hour, is the Celtics window officially closed, man? Because they got some big financial decisions to make with the second apron and with new ownership. Mariano, what was your thoughts when you saw the injury and, what you feel about the Celtics future?
Yeah, number one, I do hope that, he heals up well and everything, man. And I was just having this conversation with some of the homies. 10, 15 years ago, we used to look at stuff like the ACL injury as like, damn, it might be over with. Now you tell your ACL, you probably be back and better than ever in 9 months. I still have yet to see anybody come back from an Achilles injury and be who they were or a step, better. So it's like, I don't want to be pessimistic about this and sound like it's some negative shit. But what I will say to Boston fans, here's the silver lining in it. He didn't do this on your championship run. You got your championship out of this, out of that duo, out of that core group of guys that y'all had, you put together. You hope that he can come back and just be productive again. But like seeing it happen and like you can hear it, and it's kind of like you can feel the vibe, and it's like, damn, man, that might be that might, you don't want to say it, you don't want to put that out there, but I think we all knew, like what time it was. I'm just like I said, I'm trying to look on the bright side of it. I'm just happy that he was able to get his championship because he is a bright young star in the NBA, and we thought that Boston team had the potential. I came on here and picked them to win the championship again this year before the playoffs started. Like they were my pick.
All did.
Yeah, because I just didn't see anybody beating them in a 7-game series. And I mean, and hats off to the Knicks, because the Knicks, as much shit we can give them for getting down 20 points, they dug themselves out of that, twice, and they won those games, so they were up, rightfully so. But yeah, I hope he comes back and he could be productive, man. It's just it's tough, but I mean, shit, y'all got a ring out of it, man. So shit, hey.
Dante, what's your thoughts on it?
I hate to see it, bro. I hate to see it, but I think with Boston, I don't want to say the window is closed because it's a really talented team. When you look at everything they've got, and you look at that they have their two best players locked in. I understand how the second apron works and everything, but if Jaylen Brown is still Jaylen Brown, you bring back Jason Tatum at whatever capacity you have him, and if anything, you got to reshuffle the deck around him. But as far as those two, I mean, you still got two very elite players. Him, tearing it at 27 and going immediately into surgery. I think this may be one of those moments because even with the ACL, like there was I feel like it was a quick flip to where, it was a career. It went from being a career-ending injury to where we saw guys have it, get the surgery, recover, and actually come back. So maybe, this is one of those moments where we see a younger guy tear his Achilles and come back and he's still able to be like, 80, 85, even 90% or more, or, the same player. So, I mean, I wouldn't say the window is closed, but I'm with you, Maury. Like, thank God you got your ring last year because you would have hate for this to happen before you got to the mountaintop after everything that this group had been through. But I think the ramifications are simply you have to just really be ready to shuffle that deck because we've seen a lot of teams wait on guys to come back and become their former self, and that never happens. And then you really fuck. So it's, obviously monitor it close, but it's not time to panic here.
Bang, what's your thoughts on it?
Man, my thoughts is the window. If they got two superstars on the team, a lot of people been talking about how they had two superstars on the team. You got Tatum and you got Brown. Then no, I don't think that their window is closed because if we think that highly of Jaylen Brown, then we got to think highly of the whole team in general. Now we'll see what happens. What's tonight? The next game, we'll see what happens. Because I was actually quite surprised that they were able to pull it off. Because normally you lose a star. In the way that they lost them, in the dramatic fashion that they lost them, you would think that the team won't be able to come back. But Jaylen Brown switched up things a little bit in this game and they was able to win and win convincingly. And really, when you go into Madison Square Garden, and And I believe I heard that the Knicks have not closed out a game in Madison Square Garden in a while. Normally when a team goes into Madison Square Garden, the pressure's on them. No, the pressure's on the Knicks not to go back to Boston. So if this team and these players are who we think they are, their window is not closed. They just fell back into the pack. Because remember, we also called this the Boston Invitational. So now it ain't the Boston Invitational. It's Boston in the pack with everybody else. So no, I not only don't believe that the window is closed. I believe if they get past the Knicks, they have just as good of a chance to win this year. And if they win this year, again, either they just split everything up because now, hey, we got our two, we good. And remember, Boston ain't win back-to-back since, they won their 8th straight. So either they win and then they be like, right. So either they win and be like, all right, thank you, or either way it goes, it's the last dance probably.
Well, we might as well talk about that series right now. I hadn't laid it down the rundown. I mean, it's a perfect segue into it right now. The Knicks and the Celtics about to tip off in 2 hours in Madison Square Garden. Big weekend in New York City because Juan Soto is making his return to the Bronx. I'm sure those very nice Yankee fans have a rational response to him being back there tonight. But big game, like you said, man, they have not closed the game in Madison Square Garden in a long time. Like, because we think about it, in 2000, in the East Conference Finals, they lost to the Pacers. 1999, they beat the Pacers, but I wasn't at Madison Square Garden they clinched. I don't remember. In the 90s, they never had opportunities to clinch against Michael Jordan because he was breaking his foot off in them. And in 1994, the only thing I remember about that is the OJ chase. So yeah, it's been a long time for them to have that. But I'm not just saying this because I like laughing at Knicks fans' misery. And it really has nothing to do with the Knicks. Just we all know I have too many New York friends to live in a world where the Knicks are NBA champions. I don't even want to imagine. They're already loud human beings on a regular day when a team has 20 wins. I don't want to deal with it when they got the Larry O.B. coming down Manhattan. I'm straight on that. So, yes, I want the Boston Celtics to come down. We already got one Game 7 this weekend. Let's have two. Let's have one on Monday. You know what I'm saying? I would love that. But hear me good. I've never seen a series where a team has been up and they have gotten washed in every game. Like, in every game, they've been down at least 20 points. I've never seen anything like it. Like, ever. Like, this series realistically should be over, but it's not. But if they do not win this game tonight, oh, my God. They're not going to win Game 7. It's just not going to happen. The little leprechaun's going to come out. You know, the ghost of Red Outback, all them white boys going to start hitting threes like they did in game 5. It's going to be over. So Jalen Brunson, and by the way, stop saying this nigga's from Chicago. Chicago, I know you like to claim everything. No, he's not from Chicago. If you did not ride the CTA frequently when you were in high school, you're not from the city. You went to a Lincolnshire high school. I didn't know what Lincolnshire is that. So number one, stop saying
Stevenson.
That.
He went to Stevenson.
He went to Stevenson in Lincolnshire. So yeah, he's not from Chicago. But Jalen Brunson needs performance of all performances tonight because, like you just said, man, this is a very deep team, and I'm not saying they're better with Jason Tatum because they're not. But this team can still win without Jason Tatum. Jaylen Brown has not had a good game yet. He's due. He's due for a good game, and I think he's going. I do think the Knicks will win tonight. I'm hoping they don't, but I do think the Knicks are going to win tonight. If they don't, oh my God, the Celtics going to win this series. Mariano, what's just been your thought on this series and how you think it goes down tonight?
One thing before I get to that shirt is very disrespectful. But let me get to what we here to talk about. I've been trying to chill the whole time, fellas. I was trying not to
ass shirt.
Yeah, I was just trying not to really take it there with him. That's my guy. I love Scott. He know that. But I just when he does stuff like this, I gotta just, you know what I'm saying?
Man,
but
I would not root for a team that employs Carson Beck. I had to answer the fan transfer portal.
Okay. But so the thing I think about this series is it is like you said, it's the weirdest series that I can remember watching since I've been watching basketball because the Knicks have been out of every single game, but they're in the driver's seat when it comes to like closing it out, which I don't know if it speaks to their resilience or if it speaks to like you know, I just some weird. I don't know. Like it's like Boston. Like why? What's going on with y'all? Like are y'all serious? You know what I'm saying? Are y'all really taking this shit? I don't know. I do think the Knicks will close this game out tonight. And I don't know if some of that is like hope because I do like Jalen Brunson a lot. And I think that he's one of those guys that like playoff time, like, yeah, I want to watch him. Like I enjoy watching him play basketball. I really do. So part of that is me hoping that, like I said, we both got Knicks friends in our circles. Like, you know what I'm saying? We a lot of them. So part of it is just kind of like
if I have to hear from my man Al.
Oh, listen, man. Listen.
I know.
You're not gonna hear the end of it, dog.
Yeah.
He already talk about I used to have to root for Tony Douglas. And
yeah, like you know, like
so,
you're the only nigga that rooted for.
Yeah, he already.
I watched the Kukoc Clan in 1999. Have a little respect.
He already talking like that. But yeah, it's a very weird series that I feel like this is a series where Jaylen Brown can kind of cement himself amongst like people who really still kind of look at him a certain type of way and they like, nah, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? They make the jokes about his, you know, the left hand and everything like that. If he can will them to a win tonight in Madison Square Garden and then close it out in Boston in 7, I think that he'll do a lot for his legacy in Boston and a lot for his stock, just like on around the league overall. I'm going to pick the Knicks to close this game out. I just don't see them with all this momentum around the Knicks, man. It's. But then the more I talk, the more I sound like they setting themselves up for failure because this is what Knicks fans do all the time. It's like they get real high up on here, and then social media gets a chance to like laugh at them for like 2 weeks straight because we get to watch a long fall. But I'm gonna pick the Knicks to win this game, though. I'm not gonna join in on the.
Hey man, if Jaylen Brown want to sell on Pro Wings, he better win tonight.
Yeah, you better stop do that before they stop inviting you to beach rallies, nigga. They like, no, nigga, right. Send somebody else.
Yeah.
Dante, how you think about this series? How you think it's gonna go down tonight in MSG?
Oh, they better win tonight. They better win tonight because, like you said, when you got a situation where every game you've been down and you've been down by a large margin. If you lose tonight and then you go back to Boston and let that crowd get on you and you down 25. This is still a team with championship experience. I understand they lost their superstar, but at the same time, that could be something that's a motivating factor and drives them. So you don't want to give them the opportunity to build off that and be like on some movie shit. Now we finna go win this for Jalen. I mean for what's my boy name? Jason.
The other Jay.
Yeah, cosplay Kobe. But yeah, no. So I mean, it's one of those situations where you really don't want to let them build any momentum. So if you the Knicks, you got to close this tonight. You got to feed off your crowd, the energy of Madison Square Garden, and not just the crowd, but just around that entire building. Because if you think about Boston, that bus ride in, by the time they get anywhere near the Garden, it's going to be people beating on the bus. It's going to be Knicks fans everywhere. So you really want to capitalize on that energy and get them out the paint. Because if you don't, going back to Boston, I got Boston.
Yeah, it's just with game 7s, man. And by the way, I want to say I'm going to kiss my own ass here. Cosplay Kobe is one of the best nicknames I ever came up with. I just want to pat myself on the back.
Hey, didn't they say? I saw. Didn't one of y'all drop in the chat a video that said that they tore him and Kobe tore their ACLs with 3:08 left in the fourth quarter, some shit like that?
Nah, I sent something way more devious in the chat.
No, I saw that. That was weird. Like that was actually wild.
Yeah, it was bogus.
That was Mikey's fault. By the way,
no, that was BC that said that. Hey. Real quick, I got $100 bet on BC. I meant to say that in the local album, but I got to say this real quick so you can appreciate this, Scott. Me and BC got $100 bet. He really think the Bears ain't gonna win no more than 4 games this season.
Oh, that's an easy. They're not gonna be worse than last year.
I mean, remember, $100. BC don't like Caleb because he painted his nails. You know,
yeah, that's also very true. That's also
I get
very
it.
True.
I get it, but it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, he didn't like Jimmy because then they can listen. He didn't like Jimmy because Jimmy listens to country music. So, yeah, that goes pretty well in line with that. But speaking of Jimmy Butler, let's just go down. I'm not following the rundown right now, but I'm getting too many oops to other topics. We're just going to do that. Jimmy Butler. Y'all know I'm a fan of this man. I have been a Jimmy fan. I feel like I always got to do a setup before I slander Jimmy. Like how Stephen A. does with LeBron, except I actually like this person. I've been a Jimmy fan since he had the crappy haircut, playing country music out of a pickup truck, and he was picking up D-Rose and Joakim Noah's Herald's orders. That's how long I've been a Jimmy Butler fan. But he needs his ass whooped for what he just did in this series. Like, you were brought here and were given $168 million because we have 60. Hey, Nikhil, put that quote up on the screen. Shout out to Bang's wife in the chat right now. But if they traded you to back up Steph Curry, help be an offensive weapon for Steph Curry, be that number 2 option, and also a backup plan just in case this 37-year-old does something like, have a hamstring pull like he did in game 1. I was very disappointed in that because I thought this was going to be a great series. And I do think this series would have went 7 if Steph didn't get hurt, because I wasn't really that impressed with how Minnesota played with the mid games of this series. But you can't have 20 shot attempts in 2 games combined when your season's essentially on the line. That can't happen. And it's something we've seen. Like, Jimmy does this weird thing where, yes, playoff Jimmy is a real thing. He'll dominate, put up amazing points. You'll think this nigga is Michael Jordan with braids. And then there'll be another game where he looked like he don't even want to touch the ball. And that's what we saw from Jimmy these last 2 games. You should not be having Draymond Green and Jonathan Kuminga be the aggressors. That's a problem. And he should get rightful slander for that. If he's going to go over there and laugh at Miami when they get eliminated, trash this, and do the things he does every time he gets to a team and he's not happy anymore, he does the diva thing to try to leave. You need to be held accountable. This was a very winnable series. In fact, they could have pushed it to a game 6 if Jimmy just was Jimmy, no matter how bad the rest of the team played. And that's an issue I got with him, man. And as far as the Warriors, they're done, man. They're done. I think this was their best shot to at least get close to another NBA final. This is a year in the NBA where if you're a team that doesn't usually have a shot to win a championship, you better get them. Indiana Pacers, this may be the best chance in the history of their franchise. They have a legitimate shot to be hoisting up the Lombardi Trophy. In the 90s, you always had to worry about Michael Jordan. Or, on something, they would lose to the Knicks as well. In the 2000s, when they finally made it to the finals, they just ran into Kobe and Shaq. There's no Kobe and Shaq. There's no Michael Jordan. There's no LeBron James. There's no Steph Curry. There's nobody in their way to stop them. So teams like that, Knicks is a team. OKC, you just saw what happened to Jason Tatum. Win now. So this is a chance for the Warriors to try to sneak a 5th championship. And I believe because Jimmy Butler, they didn't get it done. I was very, very disappointed in them with that. Mariano, what's your opinion on how the series has been? And just, are you disappointed in what you saw from Jimmy this series?
Yeah, I am. And I try to give him a little bit of grace. But first, let me get my thoughts on the series overall. Shout out to Julius Randle, because I know that like Julius Randle is a player that gets a lot of shit from people that watch, have been watching him his whole career. I think he was great in this series. I think that when you look at Rudy and even like just how he was moving a little bit, like that, Ant is a leader. Ant-Man is a natural leader, and that team is feeding off of him. Like he's entering the realm of like, if you got Ant on your team, you got a chance to beat anybody on any night, no matter what's going on. But when it comes to Jimmy, it made me think when people talk about, heat culture, and just like, what that is, it made me think about like the Warriors culture, because like it seems to be some kind of miscommunication or like no communication, because when you see Jimmy with like those kind of shots, like you said, those shot attempts, it's like, whose decision was this to, you know what I'm saying? Like was it a clear message being sent? Like, we're going to go this way with it, and Jimmy didn't have a say so in it, or like, right. I'm not sure. Cause when Jimmy was in Miami, this is a whole different Jimmy. This is the Jimmy that we all like know and love. And we like, yo, he's doing this thing. He's getting the action every single time. So I'm wondering, was this a case of like, okay, I'm here. I don't want to like, step on nobody's toes. And, if this is what y'all got going on and this is what y'all rolling with, I guess I'm gonna just fall in line and get mine where I can get it. I'm not sure. So I want to give him a little bit of grace, but it was disappointing to see. But listen, I don't want to act like he was all just trash all the time. But overall, it's like, damn, Jimmy, this ain't the Jimmy that we see in these press conferences, and like you said, laughing at the Heat when they get eliminated and shit like that. So I'm kind of torn on how to, you know what I mean? I don't want to give him too much shit for it. So I'm just wondering, is this Heat culture some real? What's to this?
Heat culture is Pat Riley and Dwayne Wade. That's and unfortunately for Pat is very close to being seen now. And that's no respect to the Godfather himself, who stole my joy in 2010 by taking Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, and Chris Bosh. We're not going to get into that for a minute of time. Babe, what do you think? Do you think Jimmy's to blame here for this Warriors, or is they just ran out of time?
I won't put Jimmy to blame on the team that has been running out of time. But he sure ain't extend that motherfucker. And that's what I think that they was trying to do. This is why, while I've been a semi-fan of Jimmy is the greatest try-hard player of all time. Simple as that. He's the greatest try-hard player of all time. He's never been somebody that I say, oh, this is a superstar and stuff like that. Jimmy Butler has always been a try-hard player, one of the greatest try-hard players of all time. Eventually, you try to do some shit with try-hard players, they're going to lose. That's what Golden State found out. That's what Miami found out, and that's why they traded him. Minnesota didn't get a chance to find that out. Bulls didn't get a chance to find that out. So, yeah, I'm not putting this on Jimmy. He was there to extend life. Steph hamstring was hurt. He wasn't able to play. Jimmy wasn't able to pull up his bootstraps and lead the team past the team that he hates, basically. So yeah, no.
That's a funny comment, Orlando. Pat Riley is getting closer to the final scene of Godfather Part 3. By the way, terrible movie. Just wanted to point that out there. Terrible movie and also nasty. Andy Garcia needs to get the hell out of here. But Dante, what'd you think about the series? I know you're not a Jimmy fan. Documented. What'd you feel about his performance in this series?
I mean, it's like I've been telling y'all for years. Like, I won't shit on him no more, but y'all boy is a high energy number 3. Like any other place you put him,
I'm like, y'all boy. I deserve this. Go ahead.
and the only reason I say that is because with Jimmy, he always hits a wall. We've seen it his entire career. It's gonna come a point in the playoffs. And then what I didn't like, and the real reason I say number 3 and not a number 2, because one of you my number 2, get me a game until I can get Steph back out there. I just need you to get me a fucking game. They said he was gonna be out a week. Win one game, and he couldn't do that. And 2, you come in the press conference talking about some kids, relax, coffee, reset. Nigga, I don't want to hear that right now. This is win or lose. We're about to go home. I don't want to hear you making excuses talking about that bigger than basketball bullshit when we in the playoffs, bro. Save that for the fucking what's that shit at the end of the year? The last press conference.
The lockout.
Save it for the wrap up, bro. Yeah, save it for that after you clean your lockout. Then talk about all that family and coffee shit. Don't wait until we got another game left. We can still potentially extend our season. And you talking about some man, you know, it's not on me to always be the guy. Whatever that dumbass shit he said, I was actually really disappointed. Because like I said, over the past few years, I've come around on Jimmy. But nah, he's a high energy number 3 on a championship team. He's not gonna win you no ring. He couldn't even get you a game. Like, you really needed one game to get Steph back out there, and he couldn't do it. So nah, I'm back to where I was with Jimmy. Square fucking one. Like that.
I do hate when athletes do the more than basketball thing. Like, niggas do that when they losing, and it's like when LeBron announces an injury at the lose. Like, even though he was hurt this year, I was like, oh, right on time, MCL strain. Knowing if the Lakers would have won that game, he'd have did some stuff we ain't never seen before. LeBron James, year 22 on a sprained MCL, 30 points. No, I don't want to hear it. So yeah, I don't want to hear about Big Face Coffee. I want to see all the songs you playing on Tidal, nigga. I don't want to see none of that. You can't give me a game. And Ant was tweaking for about 2 games. You can't give me a game, bro. And I love Jimmy to death, but bro, no. And this is what annoys me about it. He got away with it. He got away with it. No,
yeah, he got away with it because most people who love Jimmy, they hang on like the highlights. They ain't gonna like the games where like he's at his best. But then when he's kind of, you know, fucking around, people like, oh yeah, and it's like, yeah, you won it both ways, man. You know what I'm saying? This ain't that. So, you know.
He got away with it. Let's talk about the team that they lost to. Minnesota Timberwolves. Minnesota Timberwolves, for the first time in their existence, are going to back-to-back Western Conference Finals. You know, last year really wasn't a fight at all. Kyrie and Luka put their feet on their couch for 5 straight games. It was a very, very quick series. They are right now waiting the winner of the Thunder and the Nuggets. If I were them, I know that Jokic is the best player in that series, no matter what, because he's the best player in the NBA. I'd be praying for the Nuggets. I'd be praying for the Nuggets. That depth doesn't scare me. Jamal Murray been real hot and cold. It turns out Aaron Gordon might have a hamstring pull. We'll get into that when we preview Game 7. I would want them. I wouldn't want OKC. But this is because this is monumental for them, man. Shout out to A-Rod and the whole new ownership team over there. Really, putting money and trying to get this team to where they need to go. Back-to-back Western Conference Finals. Then this didn't even happen during the KG era. And with KG era, they couldn't get the first round for about 7-8 years. And they finally made it to the Western Conference Finals after getting Sprewell and Cassell. They lost to the Lakers. They lost to the dysfunctional, that 04 Lakers team. I hated that team. With old Gary Payton and old Karl Malone, and allegedly Kobe Bryant punched him because of comments about Vanessa, allegedly. But if we know anything about Karl Malone, I believe those quotes that he allegedly said. But this time, I feel like they've got even a better shot than they did last year. And I'm personally rooting for the Minnesota Timberwolves to go forward. I don't think they're the favorites. I do think that the winner of Game 7 should, in my opinion, be considered the favorite. But they got as good of a shot as anybody with Ant playing the way he's playing. With Julius Randle playing the way, like, we got to give love to Julius. I'm the first one to call out the bozo stuff he used to do in New York, in New Orleans, and Los Angeles. This is the first bozo-free playoffs I've seen Julius Randle at. This nigga doing lays like he's been playing really, really well. Now, you'll be playing a much better paint defense, no matter if it's Denver or if it's OKC. You're gonna have to have it's gonna be a tougher, assignment for Julius. But he's been playing well. The whole team. We don't give Coach Fitz enough credit for the job he's done with that team. And if you're a Minnesota Timberwolves fan, JJ McCarthy ain't going to do nothing for y'all this year. So you need to be happy about what you're seeing from this T-Wolves team. I think they got a real shot. Mariano, what you think about how you've seen Ant play, the things he's learned from the Olympics? He's been very vocal about that, saying that things he's learned from KD and Steph and LeBron and beating both of those guys and moving on. And now his chances to try to win his first NBA championship. What you feel about him in the Wolves this year?
Yeah, I love Ant-Man. Like I just said, right before this, like I feel like he's in that realm where if you have him on your team, I think you got a chance to beat anybody, like no matter what's going on. I do think, like you said, being around winners, being around people, like picking up on the mannerisms, picking up on the way they talk, the way they think, the way they approach the game, I think it's helped him because it was already, I think he already had that in him. But like being around people like that to help you like manifest it even more. You seeing it right now on the court where he's inspiring that team. Like you said, we've never seen Julius Randle be on some shit like this. He's with Ant. So it's infectious. The shit that he's doing is infectious. You got him. You don't want to go back to the locker room and hear Ant mouth after a bad game. You don't want that. Forget about the coach. You don't want to hear Ant talking shit because when Ant said it's going to be real. So I feel like that's going to be their X factor. You know what I'm saying? In the Western Conference Finals and moving forward is Julius Randle, really, because we know for the most part, we know what we're going to get from Ant. You know what I'm saying? Rudy, if Rudy shows up and he's, we like, oh, damn, he ain't, he ain't on no soft tonight. All right, cool. That's enough. But if Julius Randle's out there cooking, then I feel like they can get busy. But I'm with you on you should be praying for the Nuggets because if the Nuggets win, I like Minnesota's chances tremendously to get to the finals. Not saying that they're going to be a pushover. I don't want it to come off like that. But I like their chances a lot more. If it's OKC, I don't know about that. I love Ant, but I feel like they might be okay with letting you have great games and then just shutting down the rest of the team. I feel like that's kind of the direction they would be heading in. But yeah, right now, I think that they're probably for sure the team that I will be rooting for to win. Like them, how perfect would it be if we got the Knicks and the Timberwolves in the finals and we got Julius Randle playing against his old team and Cat playing against his old team.
That's a perfect story, bro. And then you got a team with one of the biggest fan bases in both. Somebody trying to win, one trying to win their first championship in franchise history, the other one trying to win their first championship in the modern era. And I say the modern era because I'm gonna be real. This might sound controversial. I don't care about nothing before Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was drafted. I just don't. And so, you know what I'm saying? Like, so in the modern NBA, that'd be a great story. The trade that happened for the season, both players working out well for their teams. Who's gonna win? And you got a great fan base, and you got a guy who could probably be the face of the league. That is what's something that the NBA should be praying for. Bang, what's your thoughts on? Of course, you said that the Timberwolves are gonna make easy work of the Warriors. They did that. But how you like their chance to actually win now?
It still depends on who wins Game 7. I think if Denver wins Game 7, then I do see the Timberwolves going to the finals. Don't think that Denver is athletic enough and got the energy to go up against the Timberwolves right now. If it's OKC, that's going to be a battle, a 7-game battle. And because of how OKC could come at you in waves, Pauls, I'll have OKC winning that. So, yeah, it just depends. But shouts out to the Timberwolves, though. I had said this during the Lakers series, dogs. They got a whole team full of dogs, and your best player is also a dog, too. The Golden State, I didn't think they was going to make quick work of them without Steph, even though I thought they was going to make quick work with them with Steph. I didn't foresee Steph.
I think it was very clear from the games that if Steph would have played, we'd probably still be talking about the series right now.
Right, exactly. Exactly. So that's the other thing that I'm looking at. Like, you win against the Lakers, a uninterested Lakers team, it feels like. You went up against the Golden State Warriors, old and injured, which is why I think you could take advantage of Denver, but you can't take advantage of OKC. Because then also when you look at OKC is going to look at this as, man, y'all got just as much championship experience as we do. So we just going to dog it out. And like I said, they could go at them in ways. Their front court is deeper too. Their back court is deeper. Like, they're just an overall deeper team. And they got dogs on their teams too. So OKC is probably the team that they don't want to face. But they got just as good a chance as anybody else.
Dante, what's your thoughts on Ant? You know, everything is well. I feel like Ant, and we've been having this face the NBA conversation thing for I think almost a year now. And I know Ant said he doesn't want it, but this is one of the things where I don't think you have any choice in this. I think the way that he has such a great personality. Outside of him being a deadbeat, that's not we gonna keep it on the court here. He looks like, you know, he acts like one of your cousins. You know, he may be tripping. You know what I'm saying? But you just root for him. You know, he's true to himself. And he has a lot of commercials. There are a lot of commercials, and Adidas is putting the bag behind. They got Ice-T and the Law and Order niggas in this commercial. And now you're 4 wins away from the NBA Finals. What do you think about their chances and just, you know, how good of a story it would be for the NBA if the Timberwolves get there?
I mean, I think the thing with Ant is one of those situations where it's like we got to stop as much as we don't want to, and as much as it's become the norm. What they do off the court ain't really our business. Like, the fact that you have people who report on it and tell you these things, and, you know, that allows you to, you know, sway your opinion in terms of their moral behavior and things like that. But in terms of hooping, it's not too many people who under 25 who are better than Anthony Edwards. That's just the facts. Like, and then we can really do about that, my nigga. He's extremely good at the game of basketball. He's getting better. I saw the quote, and it's one of those things where it's funny because, again, you talk about cold takes. If you go back a few years ago to Bald Online when we were talking about the number 1 picks and like what we want Anthony Edwards, we all reacted to the comment he said, you know, basketball ain't my life. Like, I got other shit that I'm good at. And we were all like, nah, I wouldn't pick this nigga as my number 1 pick.
Yeah, we did say
that. It's like, nah, he's a dog. Like, it's one of those things where he's, you know, has an elite talent, but also is just well aware of everything else around him. And I mean, he just knows basketball is not the end all be all. So, I mean, it's dope to see him continue to succeed. I agree. It's one of those things where, you may not want to be the face, but you may not have a choice, bro. So I mean, it may come to the point where Adam Silver has to pull a page of the David Stern book like he did with AI, where you just pull him to the side, like, hey, bro, you know, we need you. Like, you know, I ain't saying, you know, you can't live your life, but
yeah, you ever see those memes where they be like,
Yeah.
when you accidentally became important at work, and it's like,
Yeah, that's what it is.
Right now.
It's like, bro, I
Exactly.
hate to break it to you, bro, but we kind of need you, bro. Like the American faces, Zion is a porn addict, Ja Morant, motherfucker, I don't know what's going on with him.
That nigga
but
likes guns too much.
Yeah, so we need you, bro. Like we really do. We don't, even though everybody's hyping Cooper, we don't know what Cooper Flag is gonna be. We need an American superstar, bro. Shit, he throwing grenades now, nigga. Like it's beyond that. So it's like, no, we need an American superstar. We need a face. So it's like, you know, bro, you may not have a choice here, like in this battle. Because look at this, with the Nuggets and OKC, you're going up against two of the biggest foreigners in the game.
Yeah.
Even though Canada's our neighbor, but you're going against two of the biggest foreigners in the game. So it's like, nah, bro.
Are they our neighbor?
Look, man. Look, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this real quick because we might not like the source it came from, but goddamn it, the message is still beautiful. Them niggas need a nigga.
Right, exactly. One of the most important quotes in the history of this nation.
I'm sorry, man. It's just
wrong
it is what it
messenger,
is,
right
man.
message.
But goddamn it, what is it? The right message, man.
Yeah.
Damn.
These niggas need a nigga.
I've already told y'all, nigga. Hey, the fall of basketball coming in LA 2028.
Benny has been foreseeing this for a year, right? Somebody got to sit down like Bing Rames sat down Jody and Baby Boy, like, you need to be a man. Like, that's what we can't lose the niggas on American soil. Kendrick Lamar's performing at the Olympics. We can't allow that.
Right. Fall of American basketball, LA 2028. Can't wait. Can't wait.
But so let's get to Game 7. And we're gonna talk about how the NBA is rigged. Is the NBA rigged in just a moment, but there was something I thought of while watching the last couple minutes of Game 6 last night. And I was thinking, I was like, they haven't announced MVP yet. And the NBA usually announces it during the semifinals. Like, I think the last time they were doing I can't remember last time. They usually always do a second round. I was like, the computer started viewing. I'm like, are they gonna put the MVP on like it's a ladder match with the WWE? The winner of Game 7 is the MVP. they gonna have MVP. Then Michael Jordan MVP.
I feel like they should announce it before the game.
Right.
Oh man,
I feel like they should announce it like right before the game.
You know what I think? You know what I think? I think Jokic won it, and they don't want to announce it yet.
Yep. Hey,
that's what I think.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, it's either Ty or Jokic won that shit. And they like, oh, how we gonna do this shit? Hey, I didn't realize this shit.
So if Jokic wins, we can justify it.
Hey, I ain't realized this shit with Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon at WrestleMania 10. You got a good ass point. Why they ain't announced this shit yet?
Yeah.
We waiting to the end of this series to announce it? Oh, y'all wild.
Because I thought about I was like, oh well, you know, Shea probably get it right before Game 5. That'd be a nice boost to the crowd. You know what I'm saying? First MVP for an OKC player in 11 years since KD. You know, get the crowd going, and we ain't got that alert. We ain't had an announcement for an award in 2 weeks. So my computer started puting. But with this game, because I do believe the NBA is rigged. We don't get into that. We're gonna close this out with that before Mariano gets out of here. Nuggets Thunder. This is going to be a great game. Now, I'm nervous now for the quality game. I don't care who wins, but the quality game, because it looks like there might be a hamstring problem with Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon, you can argue, has been the second best player for Denver this year. Actually, can't argue has been, but you can argue he's been a top 5 player in the playoffs this year. He's the reason they won that Clipper series. That we were dangerously close to that being a 3-1 Clipper lead. So he's been amazing. And hamstrings, we already know, no matter what age you are, they're tricky. You know what I'm saying? And that's gonna be an issue. David Adelman said that he's very concerned about it because he was able to get through the game, but he was limping a little bit after the game. So I don't know if there's been an update. My phone's been on D&D since we've been doing the show, but that's very much a question mark for Sunday. But I think this is a game where this is something Doc Rivers has said, and this is something which I 100% believe to be true. You never want Game 7 to be against the team that has the best player. Not only is Jokic the best player in the series, he's the best player in the NBA. And these niggas have been in Game 7s. Through their 5-year run of being legit contenders, they've been in so many Game 7s. It's been a mixed bag. They've won some, they've lost some, but they know what it takes. This will be OKC's first Game 7. They've never been in a Game 7 before. I don't care if they're at home. There's nothing like a Game 7. I'm concerned about that for them to be out. And Jokic, he's been cool, but Jokic ain't had that, Jokic moment. We ain't got a full Jamal Murray game. And I think it's going to be a random moment where you have a Michael Porter Jr. game. Christian Braun's been great. Can you count on Jalen Williams to not do what he did last night? I know Shay's going to be ready. But what about the others? That would be my concern for them. I picked OKC to win this series of 7. I don't feel good about it, but I'm going to pick OKC just because I'm concerned about Aaron Gordon's injury. I'm going to pick OKC. I don't feel about it, but I do believe tomorrow the winner of that series wins the NBA championship because I believe this is what that is right now. Mariano, what you think about the series and who you got in Game 7?
Absolutely love this series. It's probably my favorite series of the playoffs so far because it's just been it's like, goddamn, bro. We're literally watching, like we just talked about, the 2 MVP guys. You know what I'm saying? One of them is going to get it. Like one of them already has it right now. But I'm going to pick Denver to win this. And the reason why is because like when people talk about experience and like being there and it matters and stuff, it's not just because it sounds good. Mentally, being able to be present in the moment right there in Game 7 and say, okay, like we've been here before. I know how to handle this. The nerves that you get before the game. And you know what I'm saying? Like even like during the timeouts, how to keep yourself composed and how to rally the team at the right moments. That shit matters. And it counts in games like this. So I'm not saying that OKC doesn't have enough talent, but when they start missing shots, like, is that going to weigh on them a lot? You know what I'm saying? You miss 2, 3, 4 shots in a row. You going, the other team going to 8-0 run. Can you really calm the team down and really make them believe that they're going to win this game? And they haven't done it yet. Like, I don't know. I don't know if you're going to be able to do that. I'm going to trust Denver, the team that I just got more trust in right now. The Aaron Gordon shit is interesting too, because even if he's healthy enough to like get on the court, so much of his game is predicated on like the athleticism. Even when you look back at the tip in for the buzzer and you know what I mean, like all that kind of shit, the plays that he makes, it's his athleticism. A hamstring, man, that shit gets serious. You know what I'm saying? So I'm iffy at that, but like you said, Jokic is the best in the league, so I'm not going to bet against that. I'm just not going to bet against Jokic. That if they lose, they lose. It is what it is. Hats off to OKC, but I'm picking Denver for this one.
Bang, how you got this one going?
OKC. I want to pick Denver. I just don't know if they got the energy, and plus Aaron Gordon ain't gonna have that bounce like you want him to. And so he's gonna have to bully that front court. I think that OKC may have let the moment get to them yesterday, because some of those fouls that they had yesterday was just like, wow. Like to see Shea, yeah, like to see some of the fouls that Shea got himself into and then looking at folks crazy when he do it. Like, I think they let the moment get to him. But I think now that this game is out their system, they haven't lost back-to-back games all year long. I don't think it's going to happen at this time either. OKC wins.
Dante, how you got this Game 7 going on Sunday?
I'm going with the Joker. I can't go against him, bro. I can't. Multiple MVPs. He's shown you time and time again. And I think one thing about Joker, and it's kind of been the same with Shea, but with Joker especially, a lot of this shit just looks effortless, bro. Like when he gets in that mode, where he's just throwing shit up and like, it'll be a long rebound. He just tapped that bitch to somebody who just happens to be wide open. It's like, when he get in that mode, bro, that team is tough to beat. And Jamal Murray, we always talk about how he turns into fucking Michael Jordan in the playoffs. But I mean, I think it speaks to, like you said, Scott, their chemistry together and the fact that they've been down this road before. This ain't their first Game 7. This is OKC's first Game 7, I believe. Denver, this is not their first rodeo. It got to a point by the time, but when they got up to the bubble, They have been in the game 7 every year up until that point. It was like 4 straight seasons where they went to a game 7. So this is what they do. So I think you're gonna get them. They're gonna come out there. They're not gonna have the jitters. They're gonna withstand whatever first punch that OKC may land. I know they're the home team and that crowd is gonna be in their little blue and white or whatever. But no, I'm going with I got Denver, bro. I think Joker has one of those monster 40, 15 games that he gonna really put his foot on niggas' necks and like. I know y'all talk about that whole voter fatigue and all that, but nah, like I'm the best in the league. I think Joker gonna really make his claim on Game 7.
I'm the best in the world. LA 2028 was going. It was good.
We're gonna have the Michael Jordan trophy lowers above the ring before Game 7. Last NBA topic, man. Got to talk about the draft lottery that happened this past Monday. If you watched this program on Monday, I live streamed my reaction to the Bulls finishing with 12. And I allowed myself to get excited for like 30 seconds when I saw we weren't picked 13. Then they pulled up the card and I saw that red horn. I was like, shit. But what made me mad, more than the Bulls not getting in, we're setting ourselves up for another decade of irrelevance, it was that the Dallas Mavericks got this. Now, I believe, we all, this is rigged. There's been stories, the NBA is rigged. Michael Jordan was really suspended. He didn't retire. There's always been these NBA myths. They rigged it for the Lakers to win in 2002 against the Kings. Hey, man, look, dog, you might be right now. Like, honestly, this gives me vibes of Adam Silver saying, yo, we going to trade Luka to the Lakers to help ratings. And then we gonna make sure y'all niggas is good, and we gonna give you Cooper flag. Like, come on, bro. Like, it was just so unrealistic to put, even more of a salt in the wound. They only got that percentage to win because they beat the Bulls in a coin toss for that pick, which just makes me even more sick. Nico Harrison does not deserve to get bailed out. Like, we're not gonna smooth this over and act like, oh, he knew what he was talking about. No, I don't care. If this nigga Cooper flag is the next Larry Bird, it's still a dumb trade. He doesn't deserve to get let off and I'm upset about that. And we've seen it time and time again. I would be even more upset if I was a Washington, if I was a Philadelphia or
Utah.
One of these, Utah, one of these other bad teams. Like, I know you're trying to be anti-taking. The Wizards weren't taking. Utah weren't taking. They were just bad. You know what I'm saying? I remember when the year that Zion and Luka got drafted, the Bulls were like top 3 bad, and we got a 7th pick. I think Kobe's good. He ain't Luka Doncic, and that's who we ended up getting. I'm at the point where I will 100% think this is rigged. We were just talking about the MVP thing. This doesn't make sense to me. And it's like Adam Silver was like, oh, I know I'm going to hell. Let me double down. And this is just, it does. Dallas gets Paige Beckers and Cooper flag? No. Not on my watch. They do not deserve it.
Scott, I want to go first on this because I agree with you. But if it is rigged, this is the dumbest rig ever. Like, don't nobody give a fuck about Dallas. Nobody give a fuck about the Dallas Wings or the Dallas Mavericks at the end of the day. We gave a fuck about Luka and Dirk. We don't give a fuck about the team. Like, while I believe you, if we're right, this is terrible rigging. You rig and put him in Washington, a big market that people care about basketball. Well, nah, you don't put him there. No, you put him in the market that people care about basketball. You go to that, they don't really give a fuck about that. Like, because the Commanders, they care about the They care about the Capitals more than they care about the Wizards, and they care about the Cowboys. That's America's team. They don't really give a damn.
Who just cares about more? The Wizards or the Nationals? The Wizards or Nationals?
They care about the Nationals
more than the Wizards.
Fam.
Okay.
The Wizards are the lowest on the totem pole when it comes to the Wizards. They ain't cared about the Wizards since Gilbert Arenas.
Our Dallas correspondent Courtney said Mavericks had the 6th highest attendance in the league for what it's worth.
I feel you. What I'm telling you is from there, though, don't nobody really give a damn about this team like they give a damn about the Chicago Bulls. Like they give a damn about, in this case, the San Antonio Spurs, because if you put 2 of them marks on the same team, like if you're rigging this to pair Anthony Davis with Cooper Flag, all respect to Dallas. We don't give a damn about you that much for us to be like, yo, we got to get them Anthony Davis. Because unless you're about to tell me that Cooper Flag is Luka and is Dirk, we're not going to care. The way that market shitted on that team when they traded Luka says everything. Why? Because our dumb ass keep going to goddamn United Center, filling that bitch up anytime we do something stupid. That's my whole point. Like Courtney's right.
Giddy jerseys all out there. Nasty work.
Yeah. Yeah, like Courtney's right. They rated 6 in attendance, but as soon as they traded Luka, they was about to burn the damn house down. Everybody in Dallas was mad. So you can damn near guarantee that attendance is here. But who you care about attendance-wise more? The Bulls or the Mavericks? You care about the Bulls. It ain't no charter franchise, but it's the third biggest market in the United States. And, I'm sorry I got to bring race in this, ladies and gentlemen, the white big three. You missed the chance of having Buzelis, Flag, and Freak Man. 3 white guys, along with Kobe. Best team. This is your white version of Jason Kidd, Jimmy Jackson, and Jamal Mashburn. And again, they white. People gonna be coming to see them in Chicago, and they gonna come to see them. Oh man, this they might be good. I think, and it might sound like I'm joking. I'm not. I don't think that the NBA do a great job of rigging. If you rig to put Anthony Davis or Zion Williamson in goddamn New Orleans, oh, y'all trying too much to boost up cities that eventually ain't gonna give a fuck about the team in the first place. If you're gonna rig it right. David Stern rigged shit right.
That's a good point. Mariano, what's your
Sorry,
thoughts
Courtney. I
about
know Courtney gonna get on here.
I was literally everything that Bang just said, I agree with, because here's the thing. Yes, I believe that it's some riggery going on. There's some riggerdom going on for sure. But it's like a politician over the NBA and not a basketball nigga over the NBA. Because you rigging it for like shit that's behind the scenes that like if a documentary come out or a book come out later on, down the line and we figure out the inner workings and all this shit, we can probably understand why you got connections to these certain cities and these certain people because of whatever. But on some basketball shit, David Stern was getting it right, bro. Like we ate during that time. It was, you know what I'm saying, when it was riggery going on. We did.
Long live Stern.
You know what I'm saying? The Knicks, they did too. So like if it's rigged for basketball reasons, then you would have the teams that people gave a fuck about in the 90s and the 2000s and ish, that era that everybody loves. You would have had those teams kind of cooking right now. The Bulls ain't been shit, bro. Where's the rig going in our favor right now? We're not talking about 15 years ago, 20 years ago, shit like that. Right now. This was, if the Bulls would have got the first pick and got Cooper Flag, you would have had a lot of Bulls fans like Scott, like myself, that don't give a fuck about them saying, hold on now.
I've been back.
We might be back in now. We might be back in. You might be, the Bulls might be turning that corner right now. But instead, the Bulls got exactly what the Bulls deserve, really. 12th pick. Nobody gives a fuck about the 12th pick. Now, we can look at this shit a year from now, and the 12th pick could end up being the best player in the NBA. Who knows, bro? We don't know. That's just the way the draft goes. But for right now, 12th pick in the draft is exactly what the Bulls deserve. That's who they are as a franchise, and that's who they've been for a minute. Just kind of sitting in a place where it's like, nobody really cares. Yeah, you in a lottery, but it's 12th. Like, who really cares about that? So, yeah, I don't know. There's some rigging going on, but not for the right reasons.
Dante, bring us home on this topic. Is Adam Silver a war criminal?
No, fellas. This is bad luck. It's not rigged. I don't think it's rigged at all. My 2 homies who used to work for Ernst & Young actually got upset when I mentioned this shit being rigged and talking about credibility and all the billions of dollars and all that shit.
You think they wouldn't go to jail?
Yeah, like it wouldn't surprise me because at the end of the day, sports is something that no matter how ingrained in our society it is, this shit don't matter. Like these trophies don't matter. It doesn't matter. So it wouldn't be surprising to me. But right now, I'm gonna say no.
Now Dante's doing the Jimmy bigger than basketball thing.
The Bulls losing the Bulls losing the coin flip. For the second time, we lost the flip to get Magic. It's not a shocker to me. It's just more salt in the wound more than anything. But I think it's just a one thing about sports. A lot of times we say you can't write this shit, and The stories literally make themselves. And this is a situation where you trade away the franchise player who is in the very mold of the last franchise player you had. And off the strength of a coin toss, you now have the opportunity to get another generational player to replace that guy. So, I mean, I don't think it's rigged. I think, it's funny that, they showed the little chart with CP3 got traded, then they got AD, then AD got traded, they got Zion, and that's that and the third. But it's not rigged. I think it's just when you trade away a generational player, a superstar, your team is usually ass. So the chances of you winning the actual draft that next year were higher. Nowadays, it's just more so, in Adam Silver's defense, what he wanted. He don't want teams tanking to win the number one pick. He wants it to be random. And now we are 2 for 2. In two teams that should not have won the number one pick. They got the number one pick. So I'm cool with it. I don't think it's rigged. Dallas, they literally just Nico Harrison got bailed out, bro. It's the luckiest shit ever.
Super lucky, man. That is it for our NBA talk. Mariano, brother, always good to have you on, like per usual, man. Anything
always good to be here, man.
Tell the people about anything you got coming.
Yeah, man. Bethany and I are cooking up something. I can't really give too much about it, but we do have something that we cooking up, and we hope to present that sometime soon. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a date just yet, but when I do, I got you. I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna let you know. But we got something cooking up. Other than that, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm on the gram showing the waves off and shit, man. So if you wanna learn and shit, man, get in with me. You know what I mean? Come on, at me.
Big shout out to Bethany as well. So
yes.
On the other end, we're gonna bring Courtney in. We're gonna talk a little bit about NFL schedule. We're gonna also talk some baseball. Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe Jackson have been reinstated. We'll talk about that. And Bang gets to leave early after we talk NFL. So we'll be right back in a minute. Here on I'm Not Gonna Hold You.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice Trey, go for Trey, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.
And we are back on this glorious program. I'm not gonna hold you. This is hour number 3 coming up here, man. And we're gonna bring Courtney in, man. We got the full squad back on. It's been a minute since we've had everybody on here, man. But we got Courtney in the building. You can follow her at 1-800-CALLABRO on all social media platforms. Also, part of the High and Outside crew, episode 6 is out right now. If you're looking for quality baseball content, check that out. Courtney, you've been busy. How you feeling?
Man, I'm tired as hell. I'm not gonna hold you. I really thought I really thought we were gonna wrap it up last night, but I guess they just have a flair for the dramatic and wanted to do it in front of the home fans tomorrow. So
what is the current series?
It's 3-2 right now. We are up 3-2. Yeah,
trying to go to the Western Conference Finals.
Correct, against Edmonton, and we would have home ice advantage, so that would be really nice.
All right, we'll see what happens with that. We're gonna get to baseball in about 30 minutes. Before we got to talk about the NFL. It is schedule release week. We already talked about the Bears and the local hour. Let's talk about the rest of the NFL. But before we get to the actual schedule, a couple things we'll talk about. The NFL, man. Roger Goodell's Deebo. Roger Goodell is Deebo. He was like, look, that little Christmas thing you got over there, I like that. I want that. And he started last couple of years, and now this year he was like, you know what? Will LeBron say, let's give me 2 more. We won't have a triple header on Christmas this year. They of course, Thanksgiving is their day, as you can see right up here on the schedule. The Christmas Day triple header. You got 3 division rivalry. You got division Christmas. They're all on, or 2 on Netflix, 1 on Amazon Prime. You got Dallas heading to Washington. You got Detroit and Minnesota, and you got Denver and Kansas City, man. That's going to be a great thing, man. But I just want to talk about him not caring about anything. That nigga say, you know what? Week 16, college football, the little shiny college football playoffs I got. Yeah, I'm giving y'all 2 games. 2 rivalry games. 2 of the biggest rivalries in the sport. We're going to give y'all Eagles Commanders, which was the NFC Championship rematch. And then we're going to give you the blood feud that is the Packers and the Bears. So your little 3 playoff games, that's cute. We're going to have that. I think Roger Goodell he's being greedy. Now, as a fan, I love it. I love it. I love it. Love it. The more football, the better. On that day, I'm not going to watch all of them because I'm going to be at Soldier Field doing that Packers Bears game. But it's great to have that on there. So I just think in general, the NFL is growing more and more. They've got more international games. We'll get to that in just a minute. And this, to me, you can really say that this is, it has been for the last couple of years, this is officially America's pastime. It's not baseball anymore. It is the NFL. Look how excited. Look, there was a whole NBA playoff game going on during the schedule release. My whole timeline was like, I don't know, week 6 they're looking kind of tricky. Like, everybody's talking about their team schedule. And that's just where the NFL is right now. And I just think the growth of that is going to continue on. And like I said in the last hour, social media teams need to be better with these lists. Y'all did not try this year whatsoever. Any thoughts on Roger Goodell, Deebo, or anything? If not, we can move on to the next thing.
My only issue is with that Christmas Day slate. There's going to be some really, really sad kids. They're going to wake up that morning and open up their presents, and they're going to get like Patrick Mahomes jerseys or like a Jared Goff jersey, and then they got to watch their team get walked down. That's tragic. Yes, and that is my hot take. Bo Nix is going to walk down the Chiefs and win that game on Christmas Day.
They're wounded, but they ain't that wounded.
Jesus, Purdy.
I smell a year 2 aggression coming from Bomani Nix, but we will see how that goes. Bang, Dante, any thoughts on Roger Goodell being Deebo?
No, I mean, it's part of the plan. It's what he's been doing. He's been quietly expanding the league's reach, and with the missteps that the NBA is taking, I know the NBA is going for more of a global audience because they have more of a built-in global audience, but that's also giving Roger his opportunities to make advances here in America, and he's done that. So I've enjoyed seeing the way that he moves because I think a lot of people fail to realize the commissioner, he works for the owners. He don't work for the players. So like it's not his job to make sure that y'all are okay. It's my job to make sure that the people that make these billions of dollars are happy and do what they're doing. And he does a great fucking job at that. It's the reason his salary it is what it is. So I think Big Rod is doing what he needs to do. And I think we may end up seeing him being the longest tenured commissioner unless he just decides to just step away because everything he's done has been gold. So it's like, why would I leave?
Roger Goodell is the only white man who can stand next to Donald Trump and not be looking the other way. Like, I don't see nothing. Bang, any thoughts on this?
Fuck them kids. Christmas is for us.
I like that. I like that quote. But let's talk about something they're going to vote on next week with the NFL. Of course, we all know about different things that have been approved at owner meetings and something that was brought up by them snitches, the Detroit Lions. About seating. A lot of people have been upset about this. This comes from also our friend of the program, Tom Pelissero. He said in Minneapolis next week, NFL owners will have a chance to make the biggest change to postseason seating in decades, with the Lions' proposal to reconfigure the system listed as bylaw proposal number 4 on a docket to be voted on. Detroit's proposal will be for the 4 division champions and 3 wild cards in each conference to make the playoffs. Those 7 teams would then be seeded strictly by record rather than assigning the top 2 seeds to the division winners, which is how it's been done since the merger. With the wild cards to follow, if teams have the same record, being a division champion will be a first tiebreaker regardless of the head-to-head record. Now, as we see here, Commissioner Roger Goodell conducted unofficial vote on the idea in March, but only a handful of teams were ready to approve the proposal. However, there was also new logic to notion teams were considering, prompting Goodell to take an official vote, to table an official vote until May. The logic is right there in the NFL's rule proposed memo that went to clubs this week. The reason in Detroit's proposal reads competitive equity provides excitement and competition in late season games, records, rewards the best performing teams from the regular season. It provides excitement and competition important is key for the NFL, which is become increasingly concerned about teams resting players in week 17 and 18 in preparation for playoffs, with seeding locked up at least narrowed down. The NFL analytics team showed team owners at slide of the March meetings that explain how an open seeding system like the one Detroit proposed would make the games more relevant. As As we see here in the current system, the Houston Texans win the Week 18, locked into the 4th seed. In the adjusted system, seed 4, 5, 6, or 7 would have been possibilities at that point. The Los Angeles Rams win the Week 18, knowing they'd be number 3 or 4 in the NFC. In the adjusted season, in the adjusted system, they could have been number 4, 5, 6, or 7. The Philadelphia Eagles win the Week 18, set as the number 2 seed in the adjusted system. They could have fallen to number 3 with a loss. All 3 of those teams rested starters in Week 18 last year and wound up losing those games. Then won the first round of playoffs to some degree, rewarding the strategy. This man, I hate this. I absolutely despise this, and I hope it gets voted down very quickly. But the fact that they postponed this vote to May makes me a little wary about this, makes me feel like there's a chance that this could get overturned. Yes, teams sometimes rest their players. I don't think it's a consistent thing. The last couple of years, it's been one of those go down to the very last game type feel. And I feel like if you won more games than a division winner who won in a weaker division, that's not their fault that the niggas in their division didn't come to play. Why should they be punished because you weren't better than the other team in your division? I think that's absolutely asinine. I hate it, and I hope it gets turned down. Don't NBAify the NFL. I beg of you. Don't do that whatsoever. Courtney, I'm going to go to you first. We've been talking about this for a couple months, but it's going to get voted on, so it looks like it's a very good chance this could happen. What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I agree with you completely, Scott. You're spot on. I just don't think it's not the fault of the teams that are in lesser divisions. What they're being essentially penalized in the name of competitive equity because they're in in the NFC South. How is that their fault? They can't change their division. So no, I don't believe in that competitive equity bullshit. That's nonsense.
And I also said Detroit Lions are not low. They know what's coming.
Correct.
They know what's coming.
Very crowded division now.
Yes, exactly. They know exactly what's coming.
Yeah.
Dante, I know you said before you don't like some of the lower seeds getting home field. What do you feel about this?
Yeah, I don't, but at the same time, I don't think all this reseeding and next you're gonna be on, well, fuck it, you could pick your opponent if you're the higher seed. No, that goofy shit. I'm not with none of that. Like, it's fine the way it is. I think certain things can be changed, but the overall structure of the playoffs, I'm already not, the extra wild card team in half the league making the playoffs is already kind of crazy to me. But I mean, it just is what it is. So I think they can leave that, but changing the seeding and doing all of that, that's a little too extra for me. I'm smooth on that.
Bang, what's your thoughts on this vote next week coming up?
It's about to be a bunch of bullshit. As soon as you start seeing competitive equity and start talking about entertainment, you already know. Look, I went through this in St. Louis. Hey, you see a vote, then you say, wait a minute, hold on. So yeah, I could see this changing. And it's a bunch of bullshit. At the same time, I blame the teams and the players. Because if they use this whole thing about players sitting and shit, yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna blame the Indianapolis coach for starting this shit years ago, when Peyton Manning and the whole goddamn team set out. That's when this shit started. So yeah, I'll find somebody to blame for this shit. But yeah, I don't like it not one bit. I care about divisions. I don't care about that other shit.
That's what makes the NFL so great. Division rivalries. Don't lessen it. And I got a very bad feeling that this is gonna get approved next week. I got a bad feeling. I would love to be wrong, but that's what I feel. Let's talk about the schedule, man. Let's talk about some of the slates we got. Let's start with the week 1 slate. That's coming up. We talked about a little bit on Monday what the opening game is, but if you missed it on Monday, week 1, not Monday week 1, but on week 1, the Thursday game will be the Philadelphia Eagles hosting the Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles playing some niggas' name. The Dallas Cowboys. That's who they're gonna be playing. The Dallas Cowboys, man. We got the week 1 schedule we can bring up real quick here. I think we got that. Yeah, we do. Nikhil, we got the week 1 schedule. Let's see. Thought we had it here on the pictures. So yeah, we're waiting for the week 1 schedule. But the week 1 schedule starts with the Thursday night game. You got the Eagles taking on the Cowboys. It ends with Monday Night Football. No doubleheader this year, but it will be the Chicago Bears taking on the Minnesota Vikings at the crib. I know a lot of Bears fans weren't happy about waiting until Minnesota. I'm perfectly fine with it. I get to actually watch football on Sunday from my selfish perspective. So I'm interested to see what that's going to be like for week 1. I'm trying to see. Courtney, you got, huh?
You know what I don't like? I don't eliminate Monday night doubleheaders. I hate that. And
Yeah, I don't like them either.
That schedule of like some of the Monday night games, like the Bears, Commanders. Why is that competing with any other game? That is the game to watch. Why is there another game? I think it's like the Falcons or some bullshit. Like, who's trying to watch that?
Yeah, I agree with that because I can't really pay attention to two at the same time. And I feel like if you got a matchup that is as big as that Commanders Bears matchup, that should be the main event right here. But I'm looking right here. You got the there we go. We've got the Patriots taking on the Raiders. You got the Colts taking on the Dolphins. I'm just over any Dolphin game. Like, them niggas had their chance. It's over. Send two out of here. You got division rivals, the Commanders and the Giants. You got the Battle of Ohio, Bengals and Browns. Man, they're sacrificing Cam Ward. They sent Cam Ward to the mile high against that defense and against Bomani Nix and the Broncos. God bless. You get Packers, Lions out the gate. They're going to be in the Lambeau Field. You've got the Chiefs and the Chargers. Of course, they'll be playing in Sao Paulo. We'll get to that with the international games. You got the Jets and the Steelers. That could be that's the Justin Fields Bowl right now. Will Aaron Rodgers be playing week 1? We don't know. You got the Saints and the Cardinals. Nasty game. Sorry, Courtney. You got the Panthers and the Jaguars.
Don't be sorry to me. Fuck that team.
You got the Buccaneers and the Falcons. You got this. I'm gonna go on Niners and Seahawks. Used to get me excited. I do not care about that game. You got the Texans and the Rams. Of course, you mentioned Bears, Vikings, and the Sunday game, a rematch of last year's very, very entertaining AFC semifinal game between the Bills and the Ravens. Courtney, any games out this week that stand out to you that you're going to be most excited to watch?
I mean, that Tennessee Broncos game is going to go crazy, in my opinion. God, the Giants really have a shitty schedule this season.
They're winning 2 games. They're winning 3 games next, in my opinion.
Next. Yeah. I'm not really moved by much besides that Monday night football game. Vikings Bears is going to feed families. On a related note, I am again looking for a new football team to follow because I can no longer give the Saints my money. So I'm going to go through the Scott process and make a decision at some point this summer.
Yes, you definitely need to do that. I would tell you to come to the Bears, but I don't want you to do that to yourself. Wait halfway through the season if we decide to come over here. That Sunday night football game moves me a lot. Bang, any games that stand out to you on the week 1 schedule?
Outside of the Bears game, of course, the KC Chargers game. This is be year 2 of Harbaugh. It'd be year 2 of Harbaugh with Herbert. And I know Courtney be wondering why don't nobody be talking about Justin Herbert when things ain't going good. Why we not talking about fraud alert? I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is the year we finally start having that conversation. But we got it. The only way we going to keep away from that conversation is if the Chargers start winning these big games. They got to start out the year beating the Kansas City Chiefs. Don't think they're going to do it. I'll see it when I believe it. But there's also a lot of people that believe that this might be a down year for the Kansas City Chiefs. So this might be the year to take advantage. So what can Jim Harbaugh do with year 2 with Justin Herbert? They got Najee Harris and Omarion Hampton there in the backfield. Their offensive line will be healthy. Defensively, can they improve? Yeah, this is the year that we start having a conversation about Justin Herbert. But we can cool it off if they beat Kansas City week 1.
Dante, any games that stand out to you here in week 1?
I mean, I think that Jets Steelers game could be interesting. You know, I'm holding on to a little bit of hope that my dog Justin can, get his Geno Smith on and start his chapter off right. So I'll have an eye on that one. Philly Dallas is always good. No matter how trash the Cowboys are, that's always going to be a good game. Buffalo, and it's some good games. Buffalo and the Ravens, another good one.
Yeah, can I be a little crazy? Maybe a little.
Go ahead, go crazy.
That Panthers Jags game has my attention. Is that crazy?
No. That might be a sleeper
game.
That might be a sleeper.
That has my attention for sure.
But I'm gonna tell you this: Travis and Trickoff Trev. Like Travis and Trickoff Trev will be a good combo, brother.
If Trickoff Trev messes up with Trav, send that nigga to the bushes, like for real. And I also want to see, are they gonna let Trav play corner? Because he would be said, I want to play both sides. Now that don't mean a lot when you get to the league. You're a rookie, you fall down to the bottom of the totem pole. But I'm really interested to see that. I want to see, can Bryce Young pick off from the very positive end he had to last season. You're right about that, Courtney. Might be a sleeper. A sleeper to me too. Rams, Texans. That could be fake decent too.
Is CJ Stroud back to rookie season or
right? Exactly.
I don't care about Matt Stafford anymore. I'm kind of over it.
Oh, you're done with Stat Padford? I'm with you. Yeah. I'm with you on that.
I'm sorry, Matthew.
No, Matt and Devontae might put some numbers up with Sean McVay. It's a lot of interesting games.
Devontae was over there. Yeah,
Devontae Adams.
Yeah, that moves me. That moves me where the Giants are going to be such a bad team. Do you know that the Cardinals don't play a playoff team from last year to 2000 to like week 8? Like what kind of shit is that? Let's bring up that graphic of the Charger Chief game, because this will be an international game. They'll be playing in Sao Paulo. The first game out there for the NFL. This will be a YouTube TV exclusive. Just throwing it out there, you do not have to have a YouTube TV subscription. When I saw this, I was like, nigga, I already paid for cable. I'm not paying $80 for YouTube TV to watch Justin Herbert disappoint me again. But this will be free on YouTube. So that'd be a good thing there. Shout out to Paul in the chase. The Chargers about to disappoint, but I'll be there. That's real fandom right there. You got to be with your squad, win or lose. You know what I'm saying? I'm with you on that. I do think that a lot of people are going to be sleeping on the Chiefs this year. And by the way, we went about poor timing. Two of the most poor timing things I've seen over the last couple weeks. One, that Superman commercial with Jason Tatum. Terrible timing. And then also that Chiefs documentary that's coming out this fall. That would have hit a lot harder if them niggas actually won. I do not care about a run-up documentary, like whatsoever. So I don't even know why they aired that. It shouldn't even be coming. Let's get into the Monday, Saturday, Sunday, and Thursday night football schedule. Let's start with the Monday Night Football slate here of games. Here's all the games that we've got for the season here that we're going to start off with week 1. Obviously, like we said, is going to be the Bears and the Minnesota Vikings in Chicago. And then you got the first doubleheader week 2. You've got the Buccaneers and the Texans. And, of course, you got the West Coast doubleheader, the Chargers heading to Las Vegas. By the way, did y'all know, I saw this on Rich Eisen today, that the reason the Chargers start with back-to-back road games is because of current Manchester, England inmate Chris Brown has that date locked off for his tour. So they had to move them to a road game. They didn't want to send them to New York. So they called Vegas, and Vegas said, we'll do y'all solid. We won't have no problem playing on Monday night. So that's it. That is a true fact. That nigga got locked up in Manchester. Like, what kind of – you can't make that up. Anyway, you got the Detroit Lions traveling to Baltimore to play the Ravens. You got another doubleheader, week 4. Jets traveling to Miami, and you got the Bengals traveling to Denver. Week 5, you got Kansas City traveling to Jacksonville. Another doubleheader. We got back-to-back doubleheader. This is trash. Week 6 doubleheader. The Bills going to Atlanta. The Bears head to Washington. Week 7 doubleheader. The Buccaneers travel to Detroit, and the Texans travel to Seattle. Week 8, Washington travels to Kansas City to play the Chiefs. Week 9, the Cowboys host the Cardinals, a.k.a. I will not be watching that game. Week 10, you've got the Eagles traveling to Green Bay to take on the Packers. That should be a good game. Week 11, got two iconic franchises. The Vegas Raiders will be hosting the Dallas Cowboys. Week 12, Bryce Young making his Monday Night Football debut. Heading to San Francisco to play newly paid Brock Purdy. Week 13, Giants, who are definitely going to be out of it by the end, taking on the New England Patriots. Week 14, Eagles travel to Los Angeles, play the Chargers. Week 15, will this be Aaron Rodgers? We're going to keep saying that about everything. Did y'all notice there's a lot of Steelers games here? Because I feel like the schedule makers are just expecting this beanhead nigga to actually be playing. They're going to be hosting the Dolphins week 15. Week 16, the Colts will be hosting the Niners. And then the Monday Night Football finale, the Falcons will be hosting the Rams. Now let's go over to the Sunday Night Football slate for the year. We've got go back there. My bad, I forgot that show. Go back to Monday Night Football. Any game will hit that move, y'all. I feel like, to me, the crown jewels, I'm gonna sound biased for this, is obviously Bears, Vikings. I think it's gonna be great. I think Bears Commanders is gonna be great. Detroit, Baltimore. I think that's gonna be a good one as well. Courtney, what's some games on the Monday Night Football schedule you're looking forward to?
Yeah, those Bears games, those are going to be elite television. That Eagles Packers game, week 10, that's going to be good. Let's see. Commanders KC, week 8, that should be pretty good too.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But I really have no interest in watching the Steelers, regardless of who their quarterback is.
Yeah, so. Way too many. They got Colts on it. You got the Giants. Like, I know they're in a big market, but stop it.
Yeah, we're gonna break down that international schedule too, right?
We gonna break down all of them. Bang, go ahead.
I have some thoughts.
That week three matchup, Ravens and Lions. That's intriguing. Right there. Of course, week 6, the doubleheader. Week 6, the Bears Commanders game. There, but we definitely gonna add.
We are going to start a dialogue.
It was another game that was on there too. Throw it back there. I want to make sure I got it right. Oh yeah, the Lions and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Are we sleeping? I don't want to say, are we?
You about to say something? Go ahead.
Oh no.
I don't want to say, are we sleeping on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? But can't, because they've won the division the last couple of years. But can they continue? Like, they've been pretty solid these last couple of days or these last couple of weeks. Can they continue? That's interesting. And y'all see this dust storm shit?
Nah, this is perfect.
Did y'all get that alert for dust storm?
It's perfect.
Shit y'all got going up there.
It's perfect sun outside right here for me. So
this grainy shit outside. You see this shit?
Look like that scene in Endgame, nigga, where all the dust was
like
up
Interstellar.
That's what it looks like outside here right now.
He look out the window like Malcolm X.
You're an old head when you look outside and check out.
No, I'm gonna say that nigga looks concerned.
No, did y'all? Hey, Scott, you ain't get the dust dust storm shit on your phone?
Alert. Nah,
I'm like 1,000 miles away from you, so I did not get that alert.
I'm talking about Scott.
I mean, you out there in the boonies though. That's why I didn't get it.
People in the city got it too.
Oh, I didn't get it.
Look at this shit.
I didn't get it. But Dante, any games on the Monday Night Football schedule you looking forward to?
I mean, outside of all the Bears games, there's gonna be a couple good ones. I think the Chiefs Commanders. I almost called them their old name. I've been doing that a lot lately. Chiefs Commanders. Anything
Very
with the
controversial.
Eagles.
That's racist.
I called him out for it on the High and Outside show a couple days ago.
She did.
He called Cleveland their dead name. I'm like, we don't do that.
Yeah. I called them the Cleveland Native Americans. My bad. I apologize. But no, it's gonna be some good ones. But I personally flex Seattle off of television, period. I don't know why they have this game with Houston. I think that game's gonna be a dud. I see a couple in here that could be potentially bad games, and I think you can afford to have bad games on Thursday, but not on fucking Monday night. That's one of your just staples of the brand. So I'm sure there's gonna be a couple surprises.
Was the worst of the 3 last year. I'll argue that.
You can make that argument. That's why I say some of these games might need to get flexed out, especially if old man Rodgers either don't play for Pittsburgh or he ain't who we think he could be. Get them off my fucking TV. I think you have a flex schedule for a reason, and they should use it. So I'm interested to see how this goes because I mean it looked like a lot of mid on this schedule. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's outside of the Bears games that obviously I'm gonna get hyped for. A lot of them are just like, all right, cool, wow. Broncos, Bengals. I don't give a fuck. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
you got Bomani Jones and Burrow don't move you?
No, Bomani Knicks is about to come back to reality.
I said Bomani Jones, Bomani Knicks. Let's go to the Sunday night football schedule then, man. Of course, we said week 1 on Sunday night football. We got the Ravens traveling to Buffalo, rematching last year's playoff game. Week 2, man. Now this why are you putting come on, man. Back-to-back Vikings postseason, not postseason. I just said 3 words. Primetime games. Enough for the JJ McCarthy this early. Going up against JJ McCarthy versus Michael Penix Jr. does not move me. I'm sorry. Week 3, Giants and Chiefs. Week 4, the Cowboys hosting the Packers. Week 5, high octave right there. Bills hosting the Patriots. Week 6, this is what I want to see. Kansas City Chiefs versus the Detroit Lions. Week 7, Niners hosting the Falcons. Week 8, this could if Rodgers there, this moves me. Rodgers will be going against his old team, the Packers, if he plays in Pittsburgh. Week 8, Jaden Daniels taking on the Seattle Seahawks. By the way, NFL is really putting their chips in on Jaden Daniels. They got 6 primetime games. When the last time you seen Washington with 6 primetime games? Week 10, Chargers hosting the Steelers. Week 11, the NFC Championship game we were supposed to get. Eagles hosting the Lions. Week 12, Rams hosting the Buccaneers. Week 13, another Commanders home game hosting. I just got the emergency alert. Just got it. As my phone is shaking right here. But week 13, we've got the Commanders hosting the Broncos in Washington. Week 14, we've got the Chiefs hosting the Texans. Week 15, you got the Cowboys hosting the Minnesota Vikings. Week 16, you've got the Dolphins and the Bengals. Week 17, that one might get flexed out because I don't think San Francisco is going to be that good. It is the Niners and the Bears. Week 18 is TBD. Of course, we all know because they want to see what's going to be the most important game. That might be Bears Lions. Just going to throw that out there. I'm excited for Bills and Ravens. Like I just said, I think that week 11 with the Eagles and the Lions are going to be good. Lions in Kansas City. But I'm really at week 8, if Aaron plays, that one really, really moves me. Courtney, what do you like about the Sunday night football schedule?
That week 11, Lions, Eagles looks elite. I mean, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it all regardless, just to be clear. I will definitely be muting the television before Carrie Underwood starts singing, though. That's like
I love that song.
I know she gets paid a massive
I love that song.
She does it for every matchup, and like it's annoying as hell. I'll probably listen to it week 1 just to restore the feeling, but I'm out otherwise. But no, week 4, Packers Cowboys is always entertaining again from a narrative perspective. Same with week 8 if Aaron Rodgers does end up going to Pittsburgh. Yeah, I honestly think the Monday night football slate's better than Sunday night this year.
Dante, what you think about this? Is it better than Monday? Is there any game to stand out to you?
I think that at the end of the year, that Bears-Niners game, if the Bears are who we think they're going to be, I think that's going to be an important game as far as seeding goes, because I think the NFC West is going to be a tougher division. So I think the both of us could be battling for a wild card spot there. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers going back. Well, Green Bay coming to see Aaron Rodgers could be a potentially good game. That Rams-Bucks game. We got to see how Baker bounces back without his offensive coordinator. Another change, something he's dealt well with, but we'll see how that goes. Just a couple good games on here, but I mean, again, it's tough at the beginning of the season because, like I said, some of the good teams are going to be bad teams, and some of the bad teams are going to be surprise teams. Like nobody expected the Broncos to be who they were last year, so they could get these games in prime time and shit the bed.
I tried to tell you.
You did.
did.
You said that right away. Courtney was right on that in the Royals last baseball season. So we'll get
Random obscure teams that nobody gives a hell about. Yep.
Yeah.
I was spot on.
Bang, what you think about the Sunday night football schedule?
Depending on what happens, man, that week 7, Green Bay and Steelers, like, what does that really look like for Aaron Rodgers if he's there? Like Dante said, that San Francisco Bears game, they always send us to hell in Santa Clara, but we'll see what happens there. I'm interested in that Bo Nix, Jalen Daniels, though. Like, we talk about how good those two quarterbacks were. Will we see a sophomore slump between one or both of those quarterbacks? So that's my one. And the Monday Night Football schedule is better than this one. For right now.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. This is a so-so game. By the way, just got this right here. Most primetime games. We can throw that up on the screen real quick. Who has the most out of all the teams? The Kansas City Chiefs leading the league with 7, and there's 6 tied. That Cowboys, no matter how bad them niggas are, they will get on TV. And of course, 6. The other 6 goes to the Super Bowl champion Eagles. Another 6, like I just said, goes to the Washington Commanders. Let's go to the Thursday night football schedule that we got right here, man. Shout out to everybody working over there on Thursday night football. I was gonna shout out to a friend of the program, Taylor Brooks. Everybody over there at the team over there Thursday night football. Let's start with week 2, which should be the third. Of course, we know the first Thursday night game isn't Thursday night football; it's the opener. So week 2. The Green Bay Packers taking on the Washington Commanders. Week 3, got the Bills hosting the Miami Dolphins. Week 4, you've got an NFC West rivalry. The Cardinals taking on the Seahawks. Week 5, the Rams hosting the San Francisco 49ers. Week 6, Giants hosting the Eagles. Week 7, the Bengals hosting the Steelers. Week 8, the Chargers hosting the Vikings. Week 9, the Dolphins hosting the Ravens. Week 10, got a nice AFC West rivalry. Broncos hosting the Raiders. Week 13. Yeah, I mean week 11. My bad. I just skipped like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
you got the Patriots taking on the Jets. Week 12, you got the Texans hosting Josh Allen, the Bills. Week 13, which is Black Friday, will be the Eagles hosting our Chicago Bears. Week 14, you got the Lions hosting the Cowboys. Week 15, NFC South got the Buccaneers hosting the Falcons. Week 16, you got the Seahawks hosting the Rams. And then week 17, the Christmas night game will be the Chiefs hosting the Denver Broncos. And they will have a wild card game on Thursday night on Amazon Prime. First time to have a playoff game on there. To me, obviously, Eagles Bears moves. I'm looking forward to visiting Philadelphia for the first time. For Thursday night football schedule, this is straight for Thursday night. Not too many things. We jump off the Christmas game. I think it's going to be good. I think week 2, that's a good start with the Packers and the Commanders. But yeah, it's a solid schedule. I think it's better than most Thursday night football schedules. Courtney, what you think about this?
Yeah, I think it's a solid schedule. And again, I'm the resident non-Bears fan of the group. The league must really believe that they're about to be a fucking squad this year. They're getting
worries me just a tad.
As it should. But you have to be excited if you're a Bears fan, right? To see your team finally back in a position like this. It's got to have you a little excited. I already know it has y'all excited because y'all been talking about this shit since February. it's never ended. This is a year-round sport for you guys.
It really is. It really is.
No,
win or lose, I will have me a cheesesteak in Philadelphia. Win or lose.
Yeah, that Black Friday game is probably the one I'm most looking forward to. That is going to be absolutely elite. I just hope that the Bears can truly live up to the billing this year.
Dante, what's your thoughts on the Thursday night primetime schedule?
Damn, look better than the Monday night schedule. But I mean, it's one of those things where I like that it get also it's a change from the Monday and the Sunday night schedule because there are some teams on here that you don't see on that schedule. You see the Dolphins a couple times. I think that's going to be important. Seeing the Chargers, because I think the Chargers are a team, as long as you got Harbaugh at the helm, that's a team that's always going to be exciting and entertaining and a team that's fun to watch. Philly as much as possible because I think that's a team that's just right now, that's one of your marquee teams. So I think I like the amount of Philly games you see. And I think it's a lot of quite a few West Coast teams on here, but I mean, the AFC West, I think this is a good showcase for them because on Thursday nights, a lot of other shit going on. So, you throw this on and it'll be all right. So I think it'll be smooth. But I think right now, just off the three that we just looked at, I think Sunday Night Football probably has the best slate.
And also, this is the first time since 2011 the Bears don't have a Thursday game because that Eagles game is a Friday. So that's interesting right there. Bang, thoughts on the Thursday Night Football schedule?
Hey, man, this is the best Thursday Night Football schedule they ain't never had. These some decent games. Green Bay, Commanders, looking good right there. That even though I said they still gonna be huffed, that Cardinals Seahawks game might be sneaky good if Sam Darnold is who they think that he is. Back to what Courtney was talking about, that Justin Herbert thing. He going up against the Vikings. That's a good game. They got some good divisional games up there too. This is a great slate of games compared to what we've been getting on Thursday nights.
Now let's get to like a big rematch. They've been really hyping up rematches this year. So number one rematch we got coming up here, week 2 in Kansas City. Boy, we got the Super Bowl rematch. That's remix. You got the Chiefs. You know that they want to get their lick back. Niggas have been talking crazy. They've been talking so crazy about Pat. He got a fade. This nigga ain't got a lining. You know what I'm saying? He looking blacker than he had ever looked in his life. And they're going to be trying to get their lick back. I am very, very excited for this. This will be on Fox. This will be the game of the week 2. So that means you're going to get Tom Brady on here, man. I'm very happy about this one. Let's go on to the international games that we've got. The NFL has a record 10 international games that we've got here for this year. So they're going to start off, of course, obviously the Sao Paulo game. For week 1 is the international game, even though it's not on this. Yeah,
that's a game for the freaks.
We got this first one now. This one's in Dublin. So week 4, you got the Steelers taking on the Vikings in Dublin. It's 3 London games. I think 2 of these take place at Wembley Stadium. 1 takes place at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. The Vikings gonna be doing back-to-back international games. They're gonna be taking on the Browns in London. You got the Jets taking on the Broncos in London. You got the Jaguars taking on the Rams in London. Then Berlin, this should be a war crime. They're sending the Colts and the Falcons to Berlin. And then you got week 11 in Madrid for the first time. They got the Dolphins taking on the Commanders, and there will be a week 17. Is this a week 17? No, this is for NFL Network. I'm like, nigga, they sent the niggas out the country week 17. No, so week 17 we'll have an NFL Network game. So that'll be on Saturday. But yeah, so those. Oh no, these are the NFL. Yeah, that's the ones right there that we've got.
That Berlin game should be illegal. That's 100% a violation of the Geneva Convention and is payback for World War II because that's crazy.
I'll say 10 international games.
Germany 7. Always seems to get like the shit end of the stick when
they really do
matchups. Like what was it last year? It was like Carolina and the
Giants
or something.
Yeah.
Awful. And I think the year before that, I think 2023 wasn't bad. It was the Dolphins, maybe.
No, at least they said the Chiefs 2 years ago.
Yeah. It was the Chiefs and the Dolphins, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Chiefs. Yeah, it was the Tyreek reunion that won the reunion.
2022 was it Tampa and Seattle?
Yeah, it was something like that. This to me, it's a cool schedule. I would not like. Come on now, Colts. They nasty for sending Anthony Richardson to Berlin, bro. What we doing? That's not good for U.S.-Germany relations.
I made a terrible joke that would have gotten me canceled. So let me mute myself.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't say that. Bang. Any thoughts on the international schedule?
Nah, this just huff. They just gave them the pissy ass games overseas. They gonna come to this motherfucker anyway. I'm straight.
Dante, there's a lot of war crimes on this list. What do you think about this international schedule?
I just thought it's funny you talked about Anthony Richardson like that nigga not gonna be holding the clipboard. He's not gonna play. Like let's get real here. He's fucking terrible. But this is bad. I mean, I think it's another example of the NFL is like they're trying to extend their reach, but at the same time they're not gonna, force the really good teams to give up a home game to go, put on a show for this, secondary audience. But I think at the end of the day, as you know, we were in London. You see how the crowd is. They're gonna eat it up. They still gonna enjoy it just because it's the spectacle of the NFL. So they'll still make their bread. But like, I just wish the Bears were on this list too, because I was trying to go to Spain. I was hoping they were in that Spain game, but they are not. But we'll see what happens next year.
The McCaskies allowed them niggas to take them to London and do Hard Knocks. They're not touching international soil for another 5 years. They've done their duty for the country. Last scheduled thing we're gonna look over. Let's go over these holiday games, starting with Thanksgiving, Turkey Day games that we've got here. We got a triple header. We've got the Detroit Lions hosting the Green Bay Packers. I think this is like back-to-back years, or 2 out of 3 that they played. No, it's 2 out of 3 because last year the Bears. Yeah, I was there on Thanksgiving as I waited outside the locker for 30 minutes because Jalen Johnson was going to swing off Matt Eberflus. So this will be the second time in 3 years that they're playing the Lions and Packers on Thanksgiving. You got the Chiefs and the Cowboys, which will be in Dallas for the mid game, which is good. I'm glad they didn't give us the Giants in the Cowboys. And then I love this, nightcap on Peacock. You got the Ravens and the Bengals. Burrow versus Lamar Jackson. I love this one. Let's go to Christmas real quick. You got a Christmas triple header. You got 2 games on Netflix, 1 on Amazon Prime. You got Dallas versus Washington, and you got Detroit versus Minnesota and Denver versus KC. And by the way, I want to say this on the Black Friday thing. Amazon's really trying to have a stronghold on just sports in general, because on Black Friday, there's going to be 5 games on Amazon Prime. 2 NFL games. They have announced that the NBA is going to have a triple header. Now they have the NBA rights. So that's going to be a great game to just eat leftovers, drink alcohol, and just watch sports all day. So that'd be great. I love the schedule. I love both the Christmas game and the Thanksgiving game move me. Hopefully the play is better than it was on Christmas last year. I really want to see what the NBA's thing is going to be like, how they're going to combat that. But I love this holiday schedule for the NFL. Courtney, what you think?
Yeah, I agree. I will be glued to the television all day, and I don't care about NBA. So this is what my television's not going to move. This is going to be great.
Dante, thoughts on the holiday specials, Christmas and Thanksgiving?
Great job by the NFL. This is what I'm talking about. You put your, marquee matchups on these moments. You're trying to take odds away from your NBA, and you did a great job of that. A little off schedule, real quick. I just want to complain. WNBA, don't you dare raise the price of League Pass, and this shit don't work. Like that's what we're not gonna do. Like,
big double header tomorrow.
I understand it's popping right now, but come on, shorty, you took my 35. Let me watch the games. But no, I think this is a great job.
Real quick, Dante, piggyback off what you said. The WNBA could not have prayed for a better opening. There's no big baseball games on tomorrow. There's no NFL. NBA don't have a game tomorrow. You got your doubleheader free. Got the world champion Liberty taking on Asia Wilson, and
the game.
It starts at like noon, I think.
It's a 1 o'clock game and it's a 3 o'clock game.
Yeah, and then 3, you got the biggest rivalry.
Marquee matchup happening at noon in the after. Like, that's crazy.
And the game at that biggest rivalry WNBA. You got Caitlin Clark taking on Angel Reese and Scott. So that's a good one there. But go ahead, Dante.
Well, she about to smoke Haley Van Lith. But no, it was really great. Like, I think this is a really good schedule. I think all 3 games, Christmas is going to be really good. Thanksgiving, they really don't miss on Thanksgiving. We know how that goes. But I think Christmas and Black Friday are going to be some really good games. And the NFL, you got to really salute their schedule makers, because we've seen other leagues struggle to get these marquee matchups into the moments where we want to see them. And, that and the combination of them having the ability to flex games. That's just, the NFL has always put their fans first. So, I mean, this joint, I like it a lot, and I think it's gonna be a really good season. But I think the marquee days are gonna be worth it every time.
Bang, thoughts on the holiday? I know you said the holidays of us, F them kids.
Yeah, fuck them kids. Hey, once them presents wrap, leave me the fuck alone. I am going to be drunk. I am going to be watching football. Gonna have some food. Go play with your toys, sons. I'm watching football and basketball.
And it's funny, we're approaching summer, but Christmas and Thanksgiving will be here before you know it. I don't think I've noticed. Once you get past 25, life moves very fast. It feels like New Year's was just a week ago. Here we are.
For somebody who will be 43 years old on Wednesday, I second,
Oh,
third, fourth.
yeah,
Hey,
happy early birthday to Bang.
I was about to say, Scott, I was like, it's to the point now where like when people start asking me about certain shit, I don't even explain myself. I just say, hey, G, I'm
Exactly.
damn near 40.
Yeah.
What you want me to do?
Yeah,
Courtney, I
that's
heard
it.
that damn. I heard that damn. I heard it.
Courtney did the Kevin Hart. Hey,
I'm sorry.
but that's all we got for our NFL schedule breakdown, man. I always get kind of disappointed when we get done talking about the schedule because I know there's really not going to be any news for the next 7 weeks. Even though I will be at OTAs next 2 weeks, and then we have minicamp. Bang, we're gonna let you start your weekend because we're gonna talk a little baseball on this show, and then we're gonna wrap up before Game 6 comes on in a couple minutes. And I need to eat before I die. But Bang, we're gonna follow you at JR Bang, all social media platforms. Anything you got coming out?
I'm about to go get my iMac in this dust storm.
Oh, you got money. You got money.
No, that shit got fixed. That's what it is.
Okay.
There's something wrong with
You
it.
still got money.
I'm broke as fuck. You have to give me that shit back.
My MacBook is in its last days. I'm just hoping this stretches as long as it can before I can buy another. I'm be playing on payments for the next one. But,
Oh boy, if I unplug this bitch, this shit gonna die. I can like mine is done.
I am on
You
the
know,
work laptop doing this shit right now.
a MacBook is a rent payment, bro. So I'm gonna need this to hold on as long as possible. But man, we gonna holler at you on Monday. All right, let's get into baseball as we wrap this up, man. We're just gonna talk about two topics. One is which you guys talked about on the current episode of High and Outside, which is out right now on the Barber's Chair Network. And also the second topic is something I saw on Pablo Torre's podcast. When Pablo Torre finds out, which was a good podcast. I just wanted to ask this question when we get to that. Pete Rose of Shoeless Joe Jackson got reinstated this week by another war criminal, Rob Manfred, who, now they're up for Hall of Fame. Here's my personal feelings on this, and I'm going to give y'all a flow. I'm not even going to spend much time on this. Neither one of them niggas get into the Hall of Fame. Like, the baseball writers are very particular who they put in. Just because they reinstated them, I don't think it's going to change the opinion of any of the writers. They look down on steroids. They're not going to look much better on this. Shoeless Joe Jackson literally forfeited a World Series. Literally. He's been dead for I don't know how long, like forever. Like, there's no shot that he's getting there. And Pete Rose, look, whatever the gambling is, whatever, he's not a good human being. Like, I don't care how he was wrong on the field, whatever you want to say, he is not a good human being. And just off that moment, the number one of the phrases I always say, just because you died don't mean we're supposed to change our actual view on you. I don't think either one of them going in there. So I know y'all talked about this, but just let the people know what y'all opinion is on this. I'm gonna go to Dante first on this.
Yeah, like we said, this is just more so what we've seen throughout sports, where you have everybody, bending the knee and kissing the ring of the president. He's been outspoken about, his views on certain situations, and these guys, they've been falling right in line. It goes right with, the same when he started rolling back everything DEI. Major League Baseball suddenly stopped speaking on DEI. So, they've shown that they're one of the leagues that are going to do whatever he says do. And this is just, another questionable decision by Rob Manfred, because, you bring him back, and the Hall of Fame has a morality clause, and also the Hall of Fame is a separate entity. So you're just doing what that side does a lot of lip service, a lot of stuff that's pretty much, ceremonial, but it's not going to really do anything. So just another example of people trying to whitewash history, but we all know what happened. And don't get me wrong, like I said on the High and Outside, Shoeless Joe Jackson definitely, he hit, I think he hit over 400 he not over 400, he had 300 over 315,
286.
Yeah,
he was in games that they lost, and then 575 in games that they won.
Yeah,
Also,
so he went crazy.
He was acquitted by a grand jury. He and his 7 teammates were acquitted. It was Kennesaw Landis that said, I don't care. It doesn't matter.
Kennesaw Landis. That's a real prohibition name.
That sounds like a scammer, don't it? Kennesaw Landis. No, it's bullshit. But it's one of those situations where, his own teammates. Like they've said it. You can't tell the story of baseball without Pete Rose, but this is not somebody that you need to retroactively bring back into the game. And like now we're gonna whitewash his story and say, "Oh, Charlie hustled," and ignore everything else that he did. That's just silly. That's silly. But I mean, that's what you're gonna see for this next 4 years. It's gonna be a lot of people walking on eggshells, and they don't want to upset the president, and that's just why you got this.
I know we don't talk politics on here, but why y'all be on his dick? Like I just don't understand this infatuation of just bowing down to this. Let me stop for the government take my channel. Courtney, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, again, we elaborated on this significantly on this week's episode of High and Outside, so definitely go check that out. But yeah, long story short, the guy is he's an objectively terrible person. Beyond, again, what he did, which is the one golden rule of all sports that you can't do, is, oh, well, he only bet on his team. We don't know that he only bet on his team to win. The man was never honest with anyone about what he did. And even when he met with Rob Manfred, I think in 2017 or 2018, he wasn't even honest with Rob Manfred about the extent of his illicit gambling activities. And again, beyond the gambling, the dude was a sexist, he was a fucking racist, and he's a goddamn predator. That's not an accusation. That is proven. The man was a sexual predator. He slept with a 14-year-old girl. Oh, well, I thought she was 16. As if
right. Yeah, like,
well, because that's the age of consent, right? So it makes it legal, but it, again, doesn't make it okay. Yeah, and for me, again, regarding Shoeless Joe Jackson, I said it a couple of weeks ago before on High and Outside. Again, got to tap in with us, guys, because we really be yapping about some ball over there.
Very high quality baseball content, if I may say so myself.
But yeah, there's no one to judge Shoeless Joe Jackson, that knew him and is still. There's plenty of people that knew Pete Rose and know Pete Rose that are still alive right now and can attest to the fact that the guy's a fucking scumbag and is, like Sid said on High and Outside, he is looking up at us. Okay.
Right.
Correct. He's looking up at us, watching all of this take place.
He has a 4K TV in hell.
I understand. Oh, you can't tell the story of baseball without Pete Rose. That's absolutely true. He's one of the greatest hitters of all time. 100%. That's why he's got his memorabilia within Cooperstown in the museum portion of Cooperstown. It doesn't mean he needs to be in the Hall of Fame. There is a morality clause. And again, he's not exactly someone with high morals and high ethics. And that's why he will never be in the Hall of Fame.
I think you preach right there. Use pod, and I 100% agree with that one. 100%. Like he shouldn't be. If you're gonna ban people who, and I'm not saying steroids are right, but I always feel like steroid users should be allowed because the MLB ate off it too. Like you can't just. It's not like that's how I got into baseball. You can't have Bud Selig in the Hall of Fame and not have everybody else. Thank you. That time when he knowingly and willfully covered up the scandal because he was feasting off of it. I'm sorry. Exactly. So if you're gonna not let them in, you can't let a literal scumbag in. So that's how I feel about that. I was under the impression all this time that it was a permanent ban, not a lifetime ban. Yeah, I thought it was permanent too. Yeah, that's what I thought. It was a permanent ban, meaning that ban should not end just because you died. Yeah, and I feel like if we ain't gonna, flip it when you alive, why should we do it when you dead? Like I don't think, especially for someone that again showed absolutely zero contrition for the things that he did. Yeah, I don't think that being dead makes you any less of a piece of shit. I'm sorry. Like, and I'm not God. I'm not judge, jury, and executioner. But nigga, you nasty. Like, yeah. So last thing here on the show, man, I wanted to ask you guys this question. Get your opinion on this because I saw this. It was Pablo Torre podcast, but it's one he got with David Sampson and who's my man who used to run ESPN. His name is John Skipper. So if you care about like the inner workings of sports, that's a podcast you can check out. Like I think it's really, really great. But he was saying, David Sampson said, I would never ever agree with Scott Boras. When Scott Boras brought up the point of What about having a World Series on a neutral site and making a big thing like the national championship, like the Super Bowl, like the both national championships with basketball and baseball, basketball and football, something like or the World Cup or like all the different cups they have are at neutral sites. And at first I was like, nah, that's trash. Like you should have your home court. But then I thought about it. It's like that, that gift that lady. She's like, nah. Ain't like that's how I felt when I heard. Like, you know what? I don't think it's that bad because it doesn't stop the fan thing. If it's the World Series, the fan bases are gonna travel, and I feel like it will be more of an event, kind of, because everybody's gonna be thinking about, oh well, I can't wait to get to this city for this, and make it a full event. You can have 7 games of a Super Bowl type atmosphere. Now, I don't think they would do this, but I don't think it's a bad idea. And I'm an old school nigga who don't like changing stuff, and I currently like this. Courtney, what you think about the potential idea?
I think it's fucking terrible, and I hate it, and I never want to see it. First off, baseball is such an incredibly regional sport. I think it's unfair to the fans that are there supporting their team 81 games out of the season. It's unfair to them, because they will likely get priced out of being able to attend those games if they are away, which again, they deserve, to be rewarded with their loyalty, especially with, if their team does make it that far. And also, again, I just don't want to see the World Series. And again, I say this as someone who attended a neutral site World Series in 2020 here in Dallas. I went before I even lived here. I came out here for that World Series. Again, extremely high ticket prices. Again, I know the stadium wasn't full, so they were obviously just trying to recoup some of their money as much as they could. It's just not the same. It's not the same, and not in front of, and how do you tell, I'm thinking from a media perspective, how do you properly tell the stories of the teams and sell the sort of nostalgic iconography of baseball, right? When you're doing it outside of the ballparks that neither of those teams play in, like imagine having like a Tigers Padres World Series in Atlanta. Like that's fucking random. That's random. That just it's so silly. And again, I just feel like it starts the slippery slope toward it becoming just an incredibly corporate event, a la the Super Bowl, where only the people who can truly afford to go or are invited there, like influencers. I would hate to see that happen.
Solid take. Dante, close us out on this. What you think about the neutral site World Series?
Horrible idea. I think this is America's pastime, and part of it is going into enemy territory when necessary and getting the dub. I think turn it into, like you said, Courtney, just this corporate event where you get a bunch of overpriced tickets and you really just price out the fans of those teams. Even though some will travel, it'll be the of higher status and upper middle class that'll be able to do that. And that's not what the World Series is about. Even though the tickets will be expensive in their own cities, but when you got your season ticket holders, you got your people who still have an opportunity to get in the building. I would hate to rob them of that, like you do with the Super Bowl. Like,
my unpopular opinion is that I think the Super Bowl should be held in crazy take. I think whoever has the best record or the highest seating, whatever, they should host the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's definitely a crazy take. I like the and by the way, the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl 100% is a corporate event. I can say that after finally being the one. It's 100% a corporate event. Like
it's the only sport. Like baseball is, baseball is obviously still, they're doing the the games there, home and away, and then basketball is the same thing, hockey is the same thing, and it's so cool how much that environment impacts the game. Imagine
Champions League.
Yeah, imagine taking that away, the fan sort of element, because again, a lot of the people that will, yes, of course, fans who have the resources will travel, but then you also have to factor in, you're going to get a lot of locals who don't give two flies smashed either way. They're entertaining clients, or they just want to go watch the game. It changes. There's a lot of variables that it changes. That's all.
All solid points there. You can check that out and more on High and Outside episode 6 right now. That was called Detroit Rocks. It's up on all Barber's Chair Network feeds right now. And that is all we got for y'all today, man. Definitely a great show. One of the longest shows we've had in a minute. And as the NBA season comes to a close, these shows will start being shorter. So just, we're going to run through the conference finals and the NBA finals. And after NBA finals, we take a mandatory 2-3 week break. Well, I won't be doing anything in front of a microphone, and I really cannot wait for that. But this weekend, check out a new episode of Shoeless Plantain Show, which is the first addition to our soccer division, the Barber's Chair FC. So look out for that this week. We appreciate everybody in the chat, everybody watching, for messing with us, man. There's a new episode of Summer Sessions out right now on Patreon. So check that out, man. Follow me at Barber Chair Scott on all social media platforms. Follow Courtney at 1-800 Collabro. Follow Dante at October Zone Tay. Follow the Barber's Chair at Barber's Chair Co. Follow our partners, H&B Media and H&B Media TV on Twitter, at H&B Media on Instagram. And follow the Instagram page of the show. I'm not going to hold you at INGHY Show on Instagram. And while you are at it, subscribe to the Patreon. Patreon.com/Barber's Chair Network. If you're watching on YouTube, scan the QR code. If you listen to this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, click on the link in the description box. And it'll take you to all 4 different tiers. If you subscribe to the $5 I'm not going to hold you tier, or the $10 holler that I'm not going to hold you all access tier, you get 25% off your first order on the Barber's Chair Network merchandise shop. That is the bcnetshop.com, man. So we appreciate all of y'all, and have a great weekend, and we're going to holler at y'all on Monday. We up out of here.